No, welcome guys to our stream here on Lead Chess and Twitch. International Master William Pascal with the Pandas. The substitute Pandas. Poor Panda is in Budapest. We have to get him on a guest appearance. We could get him on a Skype call maybe. Hello. So Micro Panda and Macro Panda filling in the spots there. I've got our other mascot. Yes, Master Fugu. The googly eyes. Complete with googly eyes. So, this is our subscriber stream on Thursday, guys. What we do is we allow the subscribers to submit games and submit them, and we analyze together. You know, kind of a special stream, just really, especially for the subscribers. Everyone's welcome to watch. Microfiche, studying to be a librarian. Move 11. Okay, so yet another draw in the ever-exciting world of the World Championship of Chess. I haven't had a chance to have a good look at it. You know, I predicted a draw pretty much when I saw the Rosslimo, but at least Caruana did the Fischer Gambit or whatever. That, I think, was played in Fischer-Spassky 92, if I remember correctly. But it's been a long time ago, you know. I don't know. It's probably been played in a bunch of games since then. But it was a sensation back when Bobby Fischer played in his big rematch against Boris Spassky, which was a foregone conclusion anyway. That was more of an exhibition match. Spassky was just too old to be a serious contest for Fischer, or too weak. Anyway, going on to our subscriber stream today. Welcome everybody to the stream. We've got... yeah, I mean, kind of a joke, Bob. There was some interesting games. I mean, Fischer took it very seriously. He took it extremely seriously. It was a big deal to him. Clash Kid says, I need 30 more ELA points and $50 to become an Arena International Master. Dude, I know like 1,400s who are Arena International Masters, man. Welcome, Asterbait. Let's see, we've got Clash Kid in the house. We've got JCS moderating, Mr. Coffee, Bob, Move 11, Fish Rat Cow. Infinite Flash Chess is here. Dark Peace just subscribed with a tier 1 sub. Dark Peace, thank you for subscribing. That's awesome. Totally new player. Straight up subscribing. That's tremendous. Thank you for doing that. Thank you guys for supporting this. Will, why did you wreck Clash Kid? What are you talking about? Oh, no. He knows that it's a joke, man. He knows it's a joke. Everybody knows that it's a joke, man. It's alright. No, I mean, everybody knows the FIDE Arena is kind of the titles there are jokes. No secrets between us here on the stream. I call it like it is. Anyway, guys, we got subscriber game submissions from Asterbait, Dim, Artie Fufkin, Ignis, Percy, Nefidov, Blue Eye, Albino, White Monster, and Sladgie Fan, aka Bob. Yeah, Clash Kid, if you want to spend $50, donate it to the stream. And, or, you know, just take some private lessons. It's definitely more valuable than donating it to a corrupt organization like FIDE. Anyway, Asterbait, 124 donations in bits. At the moment, he's leading the bit count for the week. With 1,960, so that's awesome. Asterbait supporting the stream and subscribing every month as well. And again, thank you, Dark Peace, for subscribing. And guys, if you are subscribers, I appreciate you submitting games. Clash Kid just submitted his game. He's on punishment, so he's not allowed to send messages. There's some sort of angry. He got a chat ban or something, but don't worry about it. It's okay. Clash Kid, there were elections at the FIDE, but you know, who knows if the title of president changing will matter. But anyway, guys, so we are going to get started here. Asterbait was first. I'm going to just start taking the games. We got a lot of games last week. There were a lot of games. It's kind of catching on. Move 11. I've got room for one or two more. If we go by last week, we did like 12 or 13. That's kind of the maximum. We've got 150 minutes, 2.5 hours, and if I spend 10 minutes on a game, then it's like 15 games max. But I tend to kind of dwell on a few of the games longer. I can't help it. JCS, you're welcome to the stream. Thanks for being a moderator while Soltigo is out. Hopefully he'll be back. Very cold up here where I'm at, in no man's land, place where I live. Clash Kid Cheer 1961. Oh my god. What a year, 1961. That was long before I was born. Do you remember? If Reagan or Bush Sr. were hated as Bush Jr. or Trump. I don't know, but this is going back further than Reagan and Bush Sr. He's talking 1961, Bob, and nobody was hated like that, man. But anyway, Clash Kid just donated 1961. I don't know who was president in 1961. Was Kennedy president in 61? But it was long before me. No, that would be too early, right? But anyway, Clash Kid takes the lead with 961 bits. Thank you so much, Clash Kid. Okay, so let's get started. I can't thank you enough, but I want to get started because we have a limited amount of time, unfortunately. So Acerbate, actually, here it is. He criticized the cheater too much. Public humiliation. Alright, Acerbate. Wait, is this the right game? Acer, is this the game? Which one? Did you write in there? I have problems with reading comprehension, as you guys know. Let me check one more time. I don't think he specified. Was it here? Wait, my bad. Here it is. Thursday game commentation. Okay. So this is Acerbate playing white against Andre. Alright guys, our first game. So this is Acerbate who's I think making progress. He's really improved a lot since he started. He's sticking with e4 with white. I think his openings with black we've been working on that more, but he's improving overall. His openings with white are a little less well prepared. So we gotta work on that. You gotta work on that, Acerbate. E45, knight f3. Let me turn off the engine. It's probably gonna freeze us up. It just automatically goes to default. So bishop c4. And black played h6, which is a rare move. I think a long time ago, I feel like a long time ago, we looked at something like this in one of Acerbate's games, and I was suggesting that he opens it up. So thematically here, it's like begging you to transpose to a Scotch Gambit or something like that. When black plays h6, a move that really has very little really tangible development involved with it, or zero, in fact. Maybe it even weakens black's position, essentially. Acerbate, you have to, you really need to open the position. And I think playing the Scotch type of thing with d4, you got to do it. Your move's not bad. All right. Move 11 goes at the bottom of the list. I don't know how many games I can accept after that. Move 11, I guarantee we'll do through that. But after that, it's optional or provisional whether we're going to be able to do more games after move 11 submission. All right. So Viktor Komliakov. All right. c3, Acerbate played. I think you should play d4. But c3, it's not a bad move. A watered down d4, if you like. Knight f6 and now castles. The best move was d3. Baltic Pike said, what? I watched the stream yesterday and thanks for the compliments. Really motivating. I had other elite chess accounts, but deleted them due to studying. But usually hovered around 1800 rapid. Yeah. I can feel that you're pretty strong. You're much better than your rating. You were like 1700. But also in the simul game, you were hanging tough till the end. Maybe end games, typically need more work for people who aren't that experienced. But Acerbate here, he just castled, and you'd think, okay, this looks dangerous, but black should probably take this pawn on e4. So this was kind of reckless, I guess. And as dangerous as it looks, black should take the pawn on e4. And I don't know. This is kind of sketchy for white. I mean, d5's coming, and that's the problem. I think, Acerbate, you kind of spoiled your advantage. I imagine there's some way for white to play here that he's still... I mean, even queen b3 looks kind of interesting here. Actually, queen b3 can be met by knight d6, so yeah, never mind. I imagine that it's still possible to be equal somehow. But you've lost your advantage. The c3 was very hesitant. Black didn't play knight takes e4. He played this move, which gives him effectively like what looks like a bad Joko piano. Bang. This is like the worst Joko piano ever. Really frightening that some guy who was rated 2280 actually played this against Robert Zelcic. That's pretty disturbing. Alright, so bishop d6 looks like the best, trying to hang on to the strong point, but he gives up his strong point. Now Morphy, no, I mean, it looks like e5, d5 might be playable, so we just simply take back. Oh, you did play e5, okay. So you should simply take back here, Acerbate. This is much more powerful with both rolling Morphy pawns. It looks like one of those early Morphy games where he played the Evans Gambit or something, and black just responded really badly. It's the ultimate Evans Gambit where you didn't even have to sacrifice a b pawn. This is great for white. But you did this, and it gives black, it looks like d5. I was assuming. Let's take a look what happens here at d5 with the engine quickly. Computer claims knight h7, but I want to see d5. Okay, e takes f6. This is like an improved Max Lang attack for white. Pawn takes g7. I guess h6 is hanging, which doesn't look too good. But anyways, like, this is still better for black than this so-called improved Max Lang would be at least interesting. But it looks like he missed a chance to play d5, which is really bad. So he could have defended much better. Your play is okay. You made a couple of inaccuracies. Knight h7. So he takes on c3, sacrificing a piece, which is ludicrous. Just a crazy move. I've noticed this. Acerbate's opponents tend to make one-move blunders, and he doesn't. He doesn't make one-move blunders, which is a really good first step. I don't see Acerbate. You know, he overplays and he does some crazy things where he leaves the path, but he doesn't just, you know, make crazy piece drops and stuff. And his opponents do that, and he just wins. So takes here, c takes b2, black loses everything. And he's very elegant. He takes here on g7. This is a mistake because black could have queened. He forgot that black can make a queen here on a1. So there was no need to get fancy. Just bishop takes b2, and you're just a piece up. Acerbate gets off the off the path here, taking, and then he queens, and now black is actually winning. Rook e1 check. And then knight e7. 95. Threatening mate in 1. This is interesting. Maybe that's actually one of the best moves. Always play for mate in 1, but Acerbate, no, this was messed up. It was your best move, though. Okay, he has d5. No, this is actually brilliant, because he doesn't have d5. You're taking... That's mate. Sorry. This is a brilliancy. Yeah, knight e5. Blocking the defense of h8. And threatening mate in 1. So he missed the mate in 1 with the rook, which is typical. You know, you see one threat and you don't see the other threat. So he could have sacked his second queen here, and then rook takes and rook g8, and he's staying alive. But, wow, this is a fascinating position. Bishop takes f7 check, king f7 check, queen h5 check, king g7, bishop h6 check. It's hard to believe that black can survive this. But apparently, my goodness. Now, this is survivable. Oh my gosh. Check this out. Bishop g5 check, rook g5, queen g5 check, king f7. And white sort of runs out of ammunition. There's a perpetual here. There is a perpetual or not? You can grab the piece too. Be a piece down with some threats, but I don't know. Is there a perpetual? There's no perpetual because of knight g6. That was a mass Astrobate, and I think, you really, you played for the mate, but you lost your focus there. I mean, when you played E takes F, C takes B2 here, you've got to realize you're up a lot of material, and just bear down. I mean, once you're up a significant amount of material, you don't need to play for the gallery with the most fancy, crazy sacrifice you can think of. Just take the material and win the game. I don't know, looking for a brilliancy is nice, but here you ended up being too fancy and throwing away your advantage. Okay, Astrobate, so nice finish though. 97, bishop takes F7 on the way here with that cute mate. Yeah, but just take the material of that magnitude and win the game. Astrobate playing for the gallery a little bit there, allowing the second queen. Rufus and Doofus, thanks for the donation. He's got all kinds of emotes there. Wow. Tons of emotes with the donation there. Thank you so much, Rufus and Doofus. And guys, we're going to get to as many game analysis suggestions, submissions as I can. Move 11 was last one. JCS submitted for Clash Kid. Okay. So I think that's it. Astrobate, crazy game. Just take the material and win. Don't try to be fancy. Okay, Merle Dixon is here as well. We've got a lot of game submissions, guys, so I can't guarantee anybody else is going to get their game analyzed. I'm going to do the best I can. We've got a wonderful donation from Clash Kid today. 1,961, topping Astrobate's 1,960 for the week. Merle Dixon just RIP 123 for 123, so he's on the board for the week. Guys, Friday, tomorrow, the stream should be 12 noon. Just so you guys remember. I'm trying to stick to the schedule of Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 12 noon Eastern Time. Thursday, Tuesday, and Sunday. 4:30 Eastern Time. So that was an awesome cheer from Rufus and Doofus. And donations all around from Clash Kid, Astrobate, Dim, Merle Dixon, Rufus and Doofus today. Alright, let's continue. So, entertaining game from Astrobate, but a little bit over the top. I'd like to go to our second submission from Dim. He said, please don't put this in a high priority, but why not? Because Dim has supported the stream a lot. He said, just want to have your opinion about the dubious Owens defense that I'm trying to analyze lately. This is a sample game I had recently, which I played cautiously, avoiding terrible mistakes. Okay, so if Dim is in the house, Dim, are you in the house? Because I'm not sure on the color here. But let's take a look at the game until Dim can tell us which color he was. He's looking at the dubious Owen defense. So calling it the dubious Owen defense, I would assume. Bob giving out a sub. Bob has donated a tier 1 sub to Rufus Doofus. That is awesome. So he's given 7 gift subs in the channel. Bob is becoming a VIP here. I like Astrobate's style too, Clash Kid. He has fun with the game. So, I mean, assuming that he's calling it dubious, I'm kind of thinking that Dim is white. And he plays the recommended variation, which I also play. I think that the Owen defense is kind of dubious. D4, bishop b7 usually. Black played e6 instead. I think that the bishop e7 is a bit more accurate. You might have some extra options by delaying e6. There's a book by Christian Bauer, who I met last year, and he's a really, really nice guy. Very approachable, excellent chess player. One of the top players in France. Bauer is one of the few top players who's willing to play some crazy stuff, like relatively crazy stuff. The Owen defense in particular, he wrote a book about that. He's willing to really go to some lengths to get interesting positions. A great player to study. But e6 here seems to me like slightly inaccurate. Probably, giving white, a few more options. If you play bishop b7, you can actually play knight f6 without e6. And there's some variations where black might be able to play e5 in one go. With that in mind, I think bishop b7 is much more common. Okay, so e6, bishop d3. We transpose anyways. with bishop d3. Queen e2. Now, I think this is the best move. If you look at the opening explorer, you see like knight f3 is way more popular. But I think that that's very likely to a large degree due to like transposition of moves. You might get a lot of people who play like knight f3, b6 on move 1, which is slightly better. Weissmonster says bishop b7, bishop d3, f5 used to be considered critical line. Now, Weissmonsters, sometimes you know people get this confused with English defense. Okay, I don't think you can do that. I don't think you can do that here. You're getting this confused with the English defense. Well, wait to play here. What are we doing? Bishop d3. Oh, you're talking about this. Okay, wait. So bishop b7, bishop d3. Yeah, I mean, I think that Weissmonsters is basically talking about the English defense, because this isn't okay. Like, this is suicide for black, I think. He takes f. This is not the English defense. Do not get it confused. Queen h5 check. This is extremely strong, okay? It doesn't matter. Infinite flash chess. We still get this. This is not okay for black. But if you want to talk about the English defense, which is slightly different, you know, like d4, e6, c4, b6, which I actually play, you know, e4, bishop b7. A lot of people get these confused. And with the additional c4, now this is actually good for black if you take here. This is actually fine. You just take the pawn. And that's the thing that Walter Brown versus Miles in 1999. I mean, this is good for black, I believe. But it's a different position. I don't think you can really do that in the normal Owen's defense. Owen defense. The Reverend John Owen. So I don't think it matters about the move order, actually. Alright, so Queen e2. I like Queen e2. And I don't know if Dim is playing white here. Queen e2 is my preferred. But black, you see, what you could do if you were black here, if you omit e6, you play bishop b7, and then on bishop d3, and I think Christian Bauer probably played this, you can play knight f6 here. And this move, where you're actually omitting the e6, is kind of interesting. Knight f6, I had a game with Buivin like this. Queen e2, I beat Buivin with white, knight c6, and then c3. And it's actually very similar. I guess you can play knight f3, but usually c3. And then e5. Buivin didn't do that. He played e6 against me. But this is an important variation. e5, knight f3, and white sacks a pawn, I think. With e takes d4, e5, or even just castles is good. I don't like to look at this for black. I think that black should play, you know, with a strong point on e5. So d6. This is probably the best way. It's basically, you're playing something like a Roy Lopez, but a good, kind of good Roy Lopez for white. King d1 would transpose to the bottom cloud. Okay. But black played d5. This is just bad. I mean, I assume this is just bad. White has a good choice between e5 and e takes d5 here. I think that both should be good. It's kind of a matter of taste. Hard to decide. What does the computer prefer? It actually likes knight f3. Wow. Maybe d5 is not that bad. I don't know. Hikaru's played a couple games here. But this is extremely unusual for black to play d5 in this position. Zinchenko. Okay, it's this two different games Hikaru played with Zinchenko. Who even is Zinchenko? He's played a game with Paris Panza and Hammer. Wow. So Hikaru played this 4 times. I don't trust this for black. I don't know. But I guess there's some justification trying to take advantage of the queen on e2 somehow. Interesting. Is today Wednesday? No. Soltiga, what's up? No, but we're just analyzing this very rare variation of the Owen defense. So e5 makes sense. 97. So I mean the main idea is to play c5 here. There's a game with queen c8. I wonder who did that. Hikaru? No. The title's Wednesday. I thought I changed it. My bad. Sorry guys. I thought I changed that. I guess I only changed it in the overlay. Thanks for reminding me. Subscriber. Subscriber. Game analysis. So we learned something new here, thanks to Dim submitting this game. This d5. I wasn't aware this is even a legitimate move, to be honest. I can't keep track of everything. But, yeah. Let's see if the title changes. Man, okay. So 97, it's kind of like a bad French. We've got subscriber. We've got a new subscriber. Wait. We've got a new subscriber in Rufus and Doofus. Christian Bauer, Bauer like the German word for pawn. Bauer. Bauer is pawn in German. So f4. Yeah, makes sense. I like f4. c5. c3. I mean, we'd like to play like bishop a6 if possible to trade this. I feel like f4 almost justifies 97. Knight f5 right away. And then black would probably play h5 when necessary here. This is interesting. Not so bad for black. Okay, Ricardo Tomas just challenged me to a rated 15-minute game. Guys, I'm not playing challenges today, and I'm definitely not playing rated challenges. We're doing subscriber game analysis. Black actually got a pretty good game. I think f4 doesn't work too well against this knight e7. It almost plays into black's hands with knight e7. And then you got the classic situation where he gives up the good bishop to create that powerful passed pawn. But I think that black is still okay. Typical advanced Caro-Kann theme. How are you feeling, Soltigo? Well, I don't think that black is better, but I think that black is okay. The thing is that bishop on b7 is going to have some trouble, and it's going to be a long-term project to improve it. Good move here by black. I'm not sure which side Dim is playing now. White played e5. So here you gotta really ask yourself, my favorite joke, you've got three options. You can take, you can play f6, playing like a blockade strategy, where maybe that pawn, you could just use it like to kind of get in white's way, essentially. I mean, I think this is not absurd to play f6. It's absurd if you find this amazing tactic. Wow. So knight f5. Damn. That's engine. I'm going to turn the engine off, though, because it's going to slow down the whole stream. Oh, that's a beautiful shot. Like, otherwise, this would be a totally legit defense. It's like take, queen h5, check, and mate. Okay, guys, I'm going to speed through this a little bit more, though, because we're going to get, like, bogged down. And I want to spend, like, 10 to 12 minutes on each game. Okay, so takes. It's committal. I don't really like bishop takes f5, but okay. Here, now e6, creating interesting tactical possibilities. He should just castle, probably. f6 is a good idea. Doesn't work. Just castle. Taking is probably okay as well. Now queen d7, I would think. Black played queen c8, but queen c8 might be okay as well. Queen d7 seems a little simpler. It's like he's trying to trick white into playing queen takes d5. Queen e7 now, you see, we'd be a little better developed with the queen on the second rank and the rooks connected. Now we're stuck with our queen here, though you've got bishop a6. Uh-oh. So bishop a6 just wins. Queen c8 was brilliant. Now black is winning. Just winning. Up the exchange. Easy game. Chess is no problem. f4. Not a bad move. Getting that queen some squares. I'm not a fan of bishop rook to d8. I don't know what that does. White's got a little bit of a fortress, but I think we should be able to break it down. g5. So Dim, which color are you playing here? Because I wasn't sure if you were white or black, actually. White resigned kind of early in this position. You know, he can still put up quite a bit of resistance, I would think. Why didn't white take the f-pawn? It was protected. When could he take the f-pawn? Here? Come on now. No, you've got g5. So, no. Alright, guys. Anyway, Dim, what color were you there? You were black. Okay. Well, it's interesting. The d5 is interesting. That's apparently a kind of rare move that Hikaru plays. It doesn't look right, but in some way, Black's trying to take advantage of Queen e2. I don't know. Interesting idea. The d5 on move 4. But it's like a specific line. So, Queen e2, d5. Huh. It's actually funny. You played a novelty. Everyone else played c5. You played knight e7. But it's probably not that bad of a move. It's transposing to a kind of French. I really don't know what White's best move is there, though. I think the temptation here to take looks interesting. So this is Hammer versus Nakamura and Perez Panza versus Nakamura. And, okay, so they're stealing Miles' Thunder from 1994. It's actually a Miles line. Furchech against Miles from 1994. Queen takes d5. Knight f3. And it's almost like a Scandinavian. Okay, guys, let's grab another game. Yul Skinner, I don't know if we're going to get to this game, because we got a lot of games to go over. Clash Kid, again, thank you for the subscription. Thank you for the donation. And thank you for Dark Peace for the new subscription. And for Bob and Rufus and Doofus. So, yeah, d5 is interesting. It's a very rare line. So Artie Fufkin's next. Let's take a look at his game. Guys, tomorrow, 12 o'clock for Fast Friday 5+3 Blitz. I better play some warm-up games tonight because I'm not going to have time in the morning. I have an important meeting in the morning. And then I'm not going to have time to warm up for the 5+3 Fast Friday Blitz. Dim, thank you for the donation, 200 bits. That was an instructive game. Okay, so this is Artie Fufkin playing the Caro-Kann. Artie is white against Fnatic Chess. The ever classic exchange Caro-Kann. I keep thinking Will is saying the F word. We try to keep a friendly stream here. I try to not say anything worse than shit. All right, knight f3, d5, e4, c6, knight f3, d5. Now, this is the Bobby Fischer thermal bath variation, basically. Fischer was at the thermal baths in Budapest, analyzing with some people, and he suggested to a friend of mine that this line, e takes d5, c takes d5, was kind of like a serious problem for black. But I think that Fischer was probably just exaggerating. But this is something, Artie, that if you want to try, it's kind of interesting, you know. Bobby claimed it was something for white. It's actually probably equal. But if you want to try that instead, an interesting variation. So, but otherwise, I don't really like exchanging on d5. You should go ahead and play, you know, the normal two knights variation of the Caro-Kann, which is actually very, it's actually very popular at the moment as people seek new ways to get advantage against Caro-Kann, or old ways. A lot of emphasis now on the knight f6, e5, and a lot of new analysis on these lines. So, alright, but anyways, Artie's back to taking here, you know, and now he plays d4. So the problem here is that you basically played a slightly inaccurate, I would argue a slightly inaccurate move order for the exchange Caro-Kann. I mean, there's nothing wrong with white's position. It's basically a Queen's Gambit declined exchange variation with colors reversed. You see there's even a Carlsen Mamajarov game, Kramnik, Caruana. Carlsen and Kramnik playing this position with white. What does that say? It's like, here's two guys that can get no advantage out of the opening and still beat strong players. But objectively, this should be close to equal straight off the bat. Okay, so knight f6, bishop d3, and now what's the most accurate move for black? Possibly bishop g4 straight up. Bishop g4 straight up, that's what black played here. There's nothing wrong with knight to c6. Yeah, and so a little voice inside my head is telling me, guided by voices. No, C4, is that an interesting move? Can we try that? To do something? Like, Ricardo's got to stop challenging me. Alright, C4 to try to open it up. Is that a move, like, nobody's played that? Is that a transposition? We try C4? Almost feels like a Petrov, except the pawn's on the wrong square. The black pawn should be on C7. But I guess this is inaccurate. So Soltigo just draws in World Championship. It's very strange. I don't know. Neither side wants to take a risk because it's a 12-game match. Stupid idea to have a 12-game match. It just promotes both sides being afraid to take any chances. Okay. A lot of nerves in game one, but boring otherwise. So castles, knight c6, c3. Now this looks to me like... Is this similar to the game that Shanklin won in the U.S. Championship against some guy? Isn't this where black can play e5? No, it's a different position. Okay. Now you can't do e5 here. Not with the e file open. It's a different position I'm thinking of, the Shanklin game. So, well, basically white's playing an inaccurate move order. Polgar Udet losing to Karpov 1995. You're supposed to play, bishop f4 instead of knight. You're supposed to have bishop f4 instead of knight f3 in this position with white, basically. That's the main line. And now you're in a secondary system. So it looks like queen c7 is a move. The engine likes that, has decent statistics. Black plays a solid e6. And now rook e1, which is a logical move. You're playing black here with an extra move. Okay, bishop e7, knight on bd2. Bishop h5. Okay, I don't know about bishop h5. It doesn't seem necessary. Though the computer likes it. There are tricks sometimes with knight e5. So if black castles... Just for argument's sake, let's see castles. Knight f1. I don't see anything wrong with castles. Why does black have to play bishop h5 right away? I don't know. Why does the engine like bishop h5 right away? And this guy also played bishop h5 right away, but why? I mean, there just doesn't seem any reason to play it voluntarily. I would think castles is better if there's no real reason. Now, I already played queen b3. Black plays what? Yeah, I mean, I'm not a fan of this pawn structure in this particular instance. Like, you don't need to play queen b6 with black, then don't do it. The whole point of this variation is that usually white has a bishop on f4, and it patrols this diagonal, and it's really key, because if black can't fight for that diagonal, he has to have queen on c8 in some kind of very awkward position. Mule Skinner, thank you for the donation. 225 from Mule Skinner. Now I got a star. Didn't see it earlier. Oh yeah, you got resubscribed. Thank you for resubscribing, by the way, and you donated as well. Mule Skinner, we've got to try to get your game in, but it might be enough time. All right, so queen b3, queen b6. I don't like it. I feel like Artie should consider trading queens here. It's probably not the worst version of that. Those are double Isolanis. I don't really like this for black. I know that in some positions it's considered okay, but I would prefer not to have the double Isolanis. So black should have played queen c7 though. I mean, why would you choose to play queen b6 when you don't need to? This is just such a perfect move. So here, now knight e5. We're following Heikki against Klaus Berg. An old matchup there. Finland against Sweden, I guess. Knight e5, castles, and now knight on df3. This move, I'm not sure about. I guess the knight kind of guards the e4, but you do need to get your bishop out. So what are you going to do? Here, okay, here, bishop g6. Good, that's fine. Black's fine. I know you're white here, but I play this line for black, basically. Okay, so white now play queen c2. But I don't know. I like this endgame. I think that White is better in this endgame with the double A Selanis. Denmark, Mule Skinner. Berg is your old trainer. So I said he was from Sweden. That was way off. Wow. So he's actually from Denmark. Well, at least I'm right about Westerinen. Anyone named Heikki. Heikki Kallio. So he's your old trainer. Okay. Old school. Master. Queen C2. Also Queen D1, but this is okay. You're going to have to transfer over to E2. Here. Good. 97. Passive. And now... Man, there was a murderous combination. Bishop takes G6. 3 pawns for the piece. Bishop takes, pawn takes, queen takes, check. King somewhere, or what? Rook F7. Oh my god, that's just hanging. Oh my god, the knight's just hanging. So that was a total crush. Okay. Don't forget to look for tactics. It's not a tactical position. That's the problem. But these bishops can be dangerous. You know, they really can. And White can have a strong side attack. Knight D7 was just unnecessary passive move. He misplaced his queen there, by the way. You know, Black's normal strategy is to play a minority attack with B5, B4. And by putting the queen on B6, he not only didn't place it on the correct square on C7, but now he's actually interfering with his only good strategic plan, which is to play B5, B4. So, nice sea monster there, Weiss Monsters. I love it. My son is a big fan of squids. The latest thing, he has a plush squid, but the latest thing is a plush narwhal. Just got that. We just got that this week. Rook on F to E8, passive, but you know, at least it defends the tactic, or does it? No, you still got bishop takes G6. Gosh. So, well, we see the problem. We're not looking for tactics here. You know, another thing is that trading pieces is actually okay for Black. Bishop takes G5. I know that you're thinking about like mating Black with Queen G4, Queen here, but Black has defensive possibilities. Knight F6, Knight F8. I don't think that this is a good idea to trade pieces, although it is Black's good bishop. What you're doing is trading off your bishop pair in this position. You're the guy with the bishop pair, and they're kind of raking the king set. I would seriously consider like H4, H5. But I think he might be able to play knight back to F6, ironically. I don't know, you know. What about H4 here? Even if you didn't have a tactic, this move is like slightly better for White, probably. Okay. But I don't like trading pieces, and I don't like trading off your bishop pair, and Black doesn't want to trade the bishop pair. He's trying to play E5, it looks like. And he doesn't pull the trigger on some sort of counterplay. Okay, knight A5 is not bad. And then you're trying to trade, okay, it's like you're playing like it's a Tarash French. You're trading his good bishop with your bad bishop. But you're playing too defensively, Artie, like you're worse when you were better. Narwhal equals Sparklefish. I have some good support. It says StarCraft Gecko, what's up? What's up? Sub-only mode. No, it's not sub-only. This is my posse. This is my day for my posse, right? H takes G, Queen D8. Too much trading, you know. It's a little bit of Nefedov. Trying to trade pieces too much to be safe. But be more ambitious. Be more ambitious. You only equalized with White. You allowed too much and now it's a draw. I mean, I'd be comfortable trading that knight on C4 probably here. It's a tricky position, though, because you could be worse in the ending. But I think the knight is as good as the bishop now. Be careful you don't lose. Now he's got the minority attack. So, yeah, this is going to be B5, B4, and Black is slightly better. And he has a plan. You have a plan, too. F4, G4, F5. You got to get to the break. You got to get your counterplay. You've got to execute your minority attack before he gets his minority attack. But you're not doing anything. You're just stalling with Rook E2. This is about the pawn structure. F3, bang. You know, he's coming on the queen side with the minority attack over there. And now you took, which, I don't know, you know. This is a tough call for black, because he could consider taking with the rook. I don't know if it's better to take with the rook or take with the pawn. Rook takes is interesting, because he's just continuing that b4 minority attack idea. White Monsters, thanks for the donation. He does take with the rook. Okay, yeah, and then this is a terrible move, rook c2. This is an unpleasant position. You have no counterplay. It's a classic minority attack. Unpleasant. You have to defend passively, but it's just blunder to pawn. Can you just surround that pawn? Okay, what happens here? Oh, and that's the problem. Okay. Rook takes c3, rook takes d4. And then, again, too passive. So rook c8, always defend actively. Always defend actively. Rook c8 check, rook c7. You could have actually won back your pawn, probably, and held the game. But after this, you're just clear pawn down. Yeah, this guy played pretty well. I mean, he understands what he's supposed to do. He made mistakes tactically, but he understood, you know, White resigned here. Well, obviously, it's a little early to resign, but an unpleasant position. Okay, White Monsters, thanks for the donation. That's Artie's game. Ignis is up next. Sparkle Fish. Tricky Fish. That's what Wykovich called me. Sarah Wan would say Hoover pawns. Yeah, most people don't know what a Hoover is, other than a former American president. Outside the United States, Hoover is like an American terminology for a vacuum cleaner, but it's like an old company that no one knows about anymore. All right, let's go with what do we got? Ignis' second game. Okay. Dear William, I have a more interesting game. He submitted another one. Instead of the last one I have sent, please check it out. Thank you. So this is his submission. Nixon chick. It's a Nixon chick against Ignis. All right. Nixon chick. That was like when there was Russian collusion in the Nixon administration. Nixon chick. Okay. E4, E6. And Ignis is playing the French defense. My Gandhi dancer. That's my other name. I like when the pieces of ham are thin but huge. It's like my dog's tongue. My Discord channel picture is a ham tongue. Jamoneria. My favorite part of Madrid is the jamoneria. So E4, E6, D4, D5. Think like drinking beer and eating like tapas. E5, we've got the C5, we've got D takes C5. So Engine says dubious, but this is a move played by the great Aaron Nimcovich. So I wouldn't be so harsh on the D takes C5. It may not be the perfect move, but anyway, it's a move that makes black think. People tend to not know sidelines such as this. It's Nimcovichian. The idea is give up the point on D4 in order to use it for the future as an outpost square. Like Steinitz, D4. Use this later. This D4 point in the French for an outpost square. The Buccaneer Bear. Buccaneer Bill. That's old school. The eye patch. HGG is challenging me to casual 5-5. But we're not doing any challenges today. We've got too many game submissions, HGG. Maybe I'll catch you tomorrow. If you're around, HGG, join us on Friday for Blitz. Tomorrow, 12 noon. It's 6 p.m. your time in Budapest, HG. So D takes C5, Bishop takes C5, and now Knight F3 apparently is dubious. So we've got Janos Sabo. He's so old. I never even heard of him. That's in 1972. Too old for me to know him. Well, anyway, I never heard of Janos Sabo. That's funny. I know most of the old Hungarian chess players, but that one is lost on me. There's always these references to Hungary. HGG challenges me. Now we got Janos Sabo. Queen G4 is the Nimcovich type of idea. This looks like we're going to play a style of winnower. Sack the pawn, knight e7, and queen takes g7. I don't know much about this, but Janos does. He lost against Yurshi, or Yiri. How do you say that Czech name? I've heard different... I'm not even sure how that's pronounced. Do you guys know Jiri? What's the correct pronunciation in Czech for that Jiri? Anyway, maybe Janos Sabo, maybe he's even like a Hungarian, maybe he's a Czech Hungarian. I don't know. But anyways. Alright, so we got bishop takes c5. And by the way, you could probably play knight c6 there. This seems to be the most common move, and actually subscribed by the chess encyclopedia there. Knight c6 seems to be slightly more common. Played by Stevich, played by Bareyev. Somebody said knight f6 instead of bishop takes c5. You mean knight c6. Yeah. So I'm not an expert again. I don't like knight d7. That's been played too, but that's kind of weird. That seems weird. Simon Kim Williams playing the weird knight d7. But knight c6 looks standard. But again, I don't think there's anything wrong with bishop takes c5. Queen g4 knight e7 might be fun. Knight f3. So don't you have queen b6 here? That's the question. The million-dollar question would be this, and that's what you played, right? So we're following this one random game from 2003. It's very awkward, but White has to play queen d2. Obviously queen e2, maybe queen e2, g3, bishop g2. That's probably what White tries to do here. Oh, knight c6 is Berg's move, so it's the Klaus Berg day. Oh, Berg right away. Okay. I only know Emanuel Berg, but he's really from Sweden. That's why I thought that Klaus Berg was from Sweden too. The only Berg I know is, other than an iceberg. Stupid joke. Are you Hungary? The only Berg I played is from Sweden, so I just discriminated and thought all Bergs are automatically from Sweden. Very, very bad of me. But anyways, bishop takes c5, knight f3, queen b6. That's bad. Okay, queen e2. I stole your joke. Queen e2. Now, bishop d7, and okay, what are we threatening? We're not really threatening bishop b5. That's not happening. We're just stopping queen b5 check, okay? Here. And it's an interesting position, a6. Okay. Yep. And then knight d1. Rubinstein in the house with the knight d1. Alright, I mean, that's creative. Bishop b5, no big deal. We've got this. We've got this. Queen d2. Yeah, okay, White loses his right to castle, but it shouldn't be the end of the world. Admittedly, White doesn't have an opening advantage here. But actually, okay, Ignis is playing well. Now, rook takes f1, I don't know. I mean, I would prefer to play king takes f1, because you can play it like a Benko gambit, right? You play king takes f1, g3, and put your king on g2. So rook takes f1 is more awkward. What are you going to do? Like king e2, rook e1, king f1? I mean, that's strange. Knight c6. And now queen g5, he just lashes out with queen g5. Classic French dilemma now. Do we play g6, king f8, bishop f8? Probably they're all good. The computer wants to play bishop f8 because it just doesn't weaken black. That's how good black's position is. He can play bishop f8 and be clearly better. Well, you have the right to castle, and he never can castle. And you also have the better pawn structure, the bigger pawn island, no backwardness, the way he's got backwardness along the c-file. The black position is just so much more healthy. g6 does create some weaknesses on the dark squares, and he's trying to trade your guy off, which makes sense to trade. That totally makes sense. He wants to do the dark square bishop exchange. And then it just looks like this is a problem. He cannot defend c2 without playing the almost crazy and insane king d2. Regarding gender neutrality in Swedish, they actually have a word for he, she. In Spanish, they invented another one. It's like Hungarian, like, doesn't have any recognition of gender in, like, names, you know? It's just like, they get confused when they have to say he and she. People who speak Hungarian, when they have to translate their words into English, they always get messed up because, yeah, there's gender neutrality, right? Like, you don't just say he and she. It's weird. So they're constantly making that mistake in English. Not making the distinction between he and she. Bishop takes c5, queen takes c5, knight e3. He found a way to defend. This is a good game by Ignas. He managed to keep the pressure going. I like that. I like that. So knight e3. But why not just finish him off with knight takes c2 check? He must have judged that white would get counterplay here. Knight c2, queen c2, rook c1. Ignas must have rejected this because he thought like somehow, you know, this would be counterplay for white. But there doesn't really seem to be that big a problem. Even if white were to play this, there wouldn't be a threat, ironically. So I think he was concerned about that. That's why he didn't capitalize on it. Rook c8, just building up. Now castles queenside. Damn, he could have castled queenside, but knight takes c2. It looks ridiculous. What? How does that possibly work? That is insane. Check this out. Knight takes c2 is like a question mark. Can you believe it? I mean, it looks like white is getting a face planted here. And you just play king b1 and you laugh at black. You're like, haha, you don't have an advantage at all, you know? That's amazing. Wow. I mean, that's really crazy. So you're better off taking on a2 check and messing up his king safety. Nice game, though. Nice game to submit. So he takes on a2. Good job. Oh, no, this is actually not the game. White played instead c3. He didn't find castles queenside. And now he's falling apart. Okay, check. Yeah, well, now his position is really falling apart. This is terrible. So this should be just like a kind of technical win. Now you're pawn up, better king safety. You get castle or get your king to safety. Even if you have to crawl over there with like king f8. I think manual castling is fine here. This should be an easy win. Looks like he got too fancy with this d4. And then white's got a little bit of play, but he didn't follow up too well. And then the heavy piece ending, both kings are still open. Both kings are still open, so he was alright because you didn't get your king to safety. No, I mean, black was winning and then he got careless. You know, it should have been a very careful approach here from Ignas. I think like king f8 is good, for example. Maybe like we don't have time. Maybe we have to play b5 first. Okay, b5. Then this, then like king f8, king g7. There are a lot of ways to skin the cat here, theoretically. It just should have been careful. Black needs to be careful. One thing I will mention, Ignas, you got to remember your king safety. I mentioned this several times. You know, white's king was more endangered, but now you're both endangered. This is the third example. Remember, guys, this is the third example where Ignas has not been careful with his king position, and he ends up with his king exposed. It's unable to get out there. Queen e3 is like double question mark resigns. And black didn't castle. You know about castling, right, Ignas? It'd be funny if you were like master strength and you didn't know about the castling rule and you just found out about it like later. Come on, man, you got a castle here. It's just over. King safety, Ignas. King safety. But he did castle now. Alright, it's over. It's over, it's over. This is finished. So he ends up winning. Yeah, alright. Don't mess around with your king safety. Good job. And this should be mate. I think you might have missed a faster mate there. But it's good enough for my purposes. Wow, mate in 7. He's missing some faster mates. He let him get away. Now it's just okay. Well, not a bad game overall. But we can find improvements. But I think your king safety, you got to keep it in mind. Alright, Percy Hepworth. Guys, it's 5:30 now. We started at 4:30. We've got an hour and a half left. I'm going to have to start cranking through these games Thank you, Clash Kid, for the donation today. Thanks, Asterbait, to Dim, to Mule Skinner, to Merle Dixon, to Bob for gifting a subscription, Weiss Monsters, all you guys, Rufus and Doofus. Thanks so much. Infinite Flash Chess. You submitted a game. You submitted a game when? You just submitted a game. I'm not making any promises, Infinite Flash Chess. I doubt we're gonna get to that. It's really, really far down on the list. I'm gonna go and do as many games as I can. But Percy's up next. You guys got to try to get in on it early. The early bird catches the worm, right? Long time control over the board game by Percy Hepworth. So he's white. All right, let's turn off the opening explorer. Sorry, the engine here. Percy's white. Asterbait. Alex loves my stream. Thank you. You're welcome. I love you guys. Not like that, but you know what I mean. Like a guy thing, We need more chicks in the stream, though, so don't forget to bring your female chess friends, because it's just too discriminatory. Too many men and not enough women here. All right, I don't want to have a discriminated audience. Bring the chess chicks. 225 from Asterbait. Thank you so much. Asterbait sneaks ahead. He's trying to sneak in there with a donation, a bit donation, that will. Where's Clash Kid? He's sleeping or something. Lots of games today, Nils. Yeah. Lots of games. We're just like a third of the way in. Maybe we'll make it through. Percy Hepworth. So Percy's opponent. Percy plays the English really well. His opponent is he says 1750 FIDE. Just demographics. Yeah, what percentage of chess players and tournament level chess players are women? I mean, there's some argument that it's like 5% or something, but I think that's like way over the top. All right, G3, H5, like Muksudlu, Shirazi, Muksudlu. Who else plays H5? Indich. I love H5. I did for chesslecture.com. Muksudlu played this against a dude from the Oceanic area, I think Australia, New Zealand. The Muksudlu just took him out with H5. This is a great move. Rockport, of course. All right, anyway, I think I played that against, maybe I played against Percy Hepworth. But anyways, that's a Ponda move. Ponda's not with us, he's in Budapest. Knight c6, bishop g2, knight f6, knight c3, bishop c5, very standard stuff here. And now e3. Yeah, the bishop c5 is very popular. People do it with white, which I think is gross. To see like people playing it with white, bishop c4 against the Sicilian. It's okay as a defense, though. Movsesian plays it. Sergei Movsesian, who I'm acquainted with. Ivan Sokolov. Also, so you got some good players who are willing to play this setup for black. Castles, knight ge2. There's also the famous game Korchnoi against Sabo. Not Sabo Laszlo Sabo, but Sabo Stefan Sabo, who is a weaker master. Where he just crushed black with the pawns. Korchnoi, the master of pawns. We'll see what happens here. Rook e8, castles. Now a6, d4, kachink. Dim just donated 350 bits, and Clash Kid just donated 225. Clash Kid retook his place among the bits leaders with 2186. Dim gets up to 1,000 with his donation of 350, just to get on the top 3. And Asterbait's chilling there in second place. So we got 3 guys over 1,000 for bits donations. Guys, a6 here. I don't know. Percy, listen. Find the game Korchnoi versus Stefan Sabo from Bucharest. I think 1950. I want to say 1954, but I'm not sure about the year. But you won't find any other games. It's Korchnoi against Stefan Sabo. It's a great, great game. it's a beautiful examination of how to use the pawns here. Korchnoi was able to just like rip them apart. He played like d4, d5, h3, g4, g5, f4. He basically like smushed all the guy's pieces back, and it's an illustration of how the pawns coordinate. You know, it's piece and pawn coordination. In other words, like, see how the white pieces are behind the pawn chain and the black pieces are outside the pawn chain. Notice the difference here. Let me get rid of these arrows. Outside the pawn chain, outside the pawn chain, outside the pawn chain. And then you've got like inside the pawn chain, inside the pawn chain, inside the pawn chain. And the Korchnoi just pushes the guy's pieces. It was embarrassing. He pushed the bishop back, he pushed the knight back, and then he pushed the knight on f6 back to like h7 and proceeded to like attack the guy on the king side with his pawns. It was a very impressive game, one of my favorites. Of course, black played weakly, but I think that a3 is a little hesitant. So d6, b4. This is okay. This is playable, but I don't think I like it as much. The fianchetto setup as like pushing with d4, d5 immediately. Here, it's okay for white. h3, standard kind of holding pattern. Rook b8's a good move. Guido Kern. I have a lot of blitz games against that guy on another chess site. We played like a million times. 5-0. He's an IM from Germany. Bishop b2, bishop f5, d3. So basically, you know, Percy's keeping the line and playing solidly. But black's position looks really legit. Now knight e7. I don't know. Queen e7. h6 is probably the right move here for black to give the bishop a retreat square back to h7 in case you play g4 or something like that. Thank you guys for supporting the stream. Asterbait, whoa, just donated 1,001 bits. I was so into this game analysis. Asterbait taking down the leaders with 1,001. Nothing will stop him. Nothing will stop him. Don't even try. 3,186 bits from Asterbait supporting the stream this week. You're the man. You're the man, Asterbait. But he's improving. You know, the stream is helping him. Thank you. Dial it down, Bob. All right, guys. What's up? All right. Dial it down, Bob. I agree. Don't try to provoke us. Don't provoke us. Don't sexualize the stream. So d3, knight e7. That's a kind of lame move. I mean, I don't know why you'd want to do that, basically. I mean, I could see, like, why not queen d7 even? You know, if you're going to do... Is white going to play g4? This is passive, the knight e7. I think that's bad. Yeah, not necessary. Just too passive. Somebody sent me a message. Let me see what this is. All right, Fish Rat Cow. What's up, man? Wow, Fish Rat Cow donated $5 through Streamlab. Thank you so much. Thank you for letting me know. You guys are awesome. You guys are awesome. Fish Rat Cow donating $5 through Streamlabs. That is super. Clash Kid just donated 1,000 bits. 1,001, sorry. 1,000. The one is necessary to stay ahead of Asterbait. Even Nils is afraid to join the bit war now with Clash Kid in there. Norel Dixon donated 1. Party. You guys are awesome. But 97 is kind of passive. Thank you, Clash Kid. I can't say thank you enough. So a4, and then I don't know why the engine says queen d7 dubious, because why would that be dubious? I mean, whatever. As I said before, maybe h6, bishop h7 would be wiser. So, you know, there's some question about g4. Korchnoi not afraid to pull the trigger, Percy, but you've got to be very careful because these sort of sacrifices, like a piece for 2 pawns, could happen. And I also probably would have played king h2 in a vacuum. Thank you guys for the donations. It's awesome today. I've had a really rough week, so. And now white played a5. That's an ugly move. I don't like a5, Percy. You know, b5 is kind of like chipping away at his pawn structure. But a5, I'm not sure I quite really understand. Knight h7. All right. He found h6. This guy's playing pretty well overall. He really, you know, this is a tournament game, guys, by the way. This is not... Your dad was super angry with your PayPal expenses. I had this one guy who was taking lessons, kid, was taking lessons. I think he was like secretly taking lessons without telling his parents, like a 15-year-old kid. One day he just stopped taking lessons. I was like, uh-oh. I think they just pulled the plug on his credit card. All right, knight h7, e4. This is a move you sometimes have to play at some point. And then f4 might be really dangerous, and that's what Korchnoi did against Stefan Sabo. The thing is stepping off the diagonal. Step off the diagonal, and then it's like the ghost bishop on a7 is just doing nothing. So this is cool. Bishop e6, and now f4. f5 is probably critical. He also got away with the knight f6 to h7. So it's clearly going to be like a big battle here with f4 and f5, breaking on the f-file. Who's better placed? I'm not sure. It looks like white has a bit more space, but I guess that's not to be, taken lightly, that bishop on a7. So knight d5, a5 sort of makes sense now because you'd have like knight b6. All right, knight g5, now h4, and then back. Yeah, was it worth it, really, to spend that move? Now that bishop back to c1 makes me think about the whole decision to play bishop b2, right? I talk to people a lot about bishops that are best from the original squares, and an old Russian master basically taught me this, Vladimir Rubenchik, who I learned a lot from like 30 years ago. He was like, okay, bishop is developed from the original square. I learned by playing and losing to the guy. I mean, he was a good player at closed Sicilian, which is this basically what this is. He was like, your bishop is developed from its original square on c1. But going to b2, now you had to bring it back, and I'm wondering, is that a better setup, just not playing bishop b2? So anyway, c6, knight b6, yeah, that makes a5 look worthwhile. Here, rook b1. The battle is for f4 and f5. f4 hits first, so black plays c takes b4, but this is just a blunder. So that's crazy. I mean, he has to play f5, literally. And it's a really crazy game after that. Although f5, what is black going to do about bc and then the e5? I guess this is the critical question. f5. I got to move on to the next game, guys. This was a fun game for me though, because I like the English and I like this variation. It's a lot of fun. Unlike Morales says I like close positions, but I don't really like close positions. But seriously, what about f5? The problem is that may not work because you just drop a pawn on e5, man. But he can't allow white to play f5. You can't allow that. So it was just an overt blunder. Now white's just winning. This is just over. That was just reckless and careless. I mean, synonyms. It's over, guys. Totally over. Totally over. Rook takes f6. That's the move, apparently. But not the only move. I mean, white should be winning here. Black has 2 pawns for a piece. Yeah. This gets the double question mark, but really, is it that bad? I don't know how this stuff works. We're not interested in girls, okay? We're chess players. But seriously, let's just keep the chat clean. Knight g4 checked, king g1, bishop takes d5. I don't buy the double question mark thing. Okay, so you apparently had rook takes f6. Rook takes f6, and you got knight e4 in tandem with bishop takes h6. I understand this now. I understand this. This is going to be pretty nasty. So, okay, Percy Hepworth a little too hesitant with the tactics here. So he let black kind of hang around a bit too long, stay in the game. But he should keep it under control. He should be winning, nevertheless. You got 4 pieces, 5 pieces against 4. Nice bishops, too. White's winning this. Queen c5 check. You dropped a rook. It's an intentional sacrifice. And it's mate. Nice. Obviously, we missed a few points. The bishop did its damage from its original square. Don't bother putting it on b2. Alright, guys. That's it for this game. This is over. I've seen enough. Put a fork in him. This is not pretty. Nice, nice. All right. Good game, Percy Hepworth. You're getting better, but I think there is no easy solution. And that bishop c5 line, Movsesian, Ivan Sokolov, those guys can play. They can play that. People who know what they're doing with black, It's a legitimate defensive system. And I don't know if it's better to play for a3, b4, bishop b2 or not. All right. A lot of talk, a lot of donations. Clash Kid goes to the lead with 3,200 bits. Acerbate with 3,188. Dim with 1,000. Thanks, guys, for supporting the stream. World Championship, all boring draws except for the first game. All right, I'm going to try to get through some more games. Nefedov, as many as I can, guys. We've got an hour and 15 minutes left. Nefedov. Okay, game to analyze, please. Nefedov. Slav defense check variation, Kraus attack. This is Aldo. Oh, this is from the tournament. Oh, this was... Nefedov should have knocked this guy off. This is the guy who beat me 2 weeks ago in the viewer blitz tournament on Tuesday. Mexican or something, or maybe Italian. I don't remember where he's from. Aldo sounds Italian, but it's actually Mexico. Okay. Sparkled Dog. All right, whatever, dude. I don't play Bullet. Nefedov's playing his Slav defense, but I've trained him pretty well here with a lot of training games. We've played Nefedov like 170 games now on the stream, most of them. So he's pretty well prepared in the Slav. Knight c3 takes a4, bishop f5, and then knight e5. Unfortunately, I don't play the knight e5 line because I don't know. Sparkle Dog is Govinkurt, also from Budapest. So we got HGG and Govinkurt. I think Govinkurt actually streams, or did stream. Knight e5 is the main line, but I'm allergic to heavy theory, so that's why I never play knight e5, because even though it's probably the best move, it requires extensive theoretical knowledge to play. That's why I was steered away from it. Here Black played c5 now. I don't know what this is about, actually. c5 right away. Acerbate with 49 bits, sleeking. That's not a word. He's sneaking into the lead. Shh. Don't tell anyone. Acerbate donated 49 bits to the stream, and now he's in the lead. But don't tell Clash Kid. Alright. Knight e5. c5. What is this about? I've never seen this ever played. Wow. Secret weapon. Lubojevic against Zoltan Ribley. I've played Ribley several times. He's a good guy. Very, very strong professional. He's the trainer, actually, for the Austrian team, Clash Kid. Or one of them. Or was. He's slinking into the lead. Dim with 50 bits. We got a bit storm today. So what is this? Nefedov tricks this guy with c5. It's like the mainline Slav. Nefedov's playing c5. What the heck? So this is like a secret move. Played by Harold Herndl. Speaking of Austrians, what's up with the Austrians? I played that guy somewhere. I don't remember. That was a long time ago. So there's only like 5 games with this move ever being played. And poor Aldo was just unprepared. Aldo crushed me. Man, what is this? So White's supposed to play e4. Knight takes e4. And now queen f3? Is that a move? Plosheka. That's kind of nasty. So it seems like Nefedov just played for this sort of tricky move, and White didn't know what to do. I don't know if it was accidental, though, or he did it on purpose. I don't know if he's in the stream. He's here. So Nefedov, what's the deal with c5? Apparently this is just like bad, but White has to know what they're doing. So you tricked him. You see, that's why I don't play this variation with White. I don't want to memorize a million moves, but Boris Gelfand wouldn't make this mistake with White. Ribley against Lubojevic. What happened? Let me just see, out of curiosity. Did Ribley know to play e4? Oh my god, Ribley took on c5. Ribley just too safe. In the Nefedov school. Man, Zoltan did not play e4. So e4 is the secret move. If you don't play e4, you don't get an edge. End of story. I mean, I wouldn't even think of e3. I mean, this you can play. So Zoltan did this. He went into the ending with queen takes d1 check. And this is actually kind of lame. But that's a very old game. I mean, 1985. And Lebojevic was a monster. You know, Lebojevic was scary. They're both great players, but Lebojevic was a little more scary than Ribley, I think. A little more wild and unpredictable. Ribley more solid, correct. You have tricks too. Okay. So, man, even Ribley went wrong with white. You got to play e4. So this is a trap. cd4. Now, bishop takes c4. It looks like you should have just played knight c6. cd4. Bishop takes c4. He didn't find that either. Knight c6. Knight c6, b6. So now it's just equal. Clash Kid donated 300 bits. Acerbate with 2. Acerbate, like, made a blunder. He basically donated those 2 bits. It looks like he was waking Clash Kid up. In fact, Clash Kid now up to 300 bits, up to 3,500 bits for the week. Acerbate waking the monster. So it's equal. Okay, we'll call this equal. Here, bishop e7 was played before, but I like bishop d6. It's more active. h3. Houston, now we have a problem. It's seriously hard to justify bishop d2. Why would white play bishop to d2? Why in the world would you play bishop to d2 here? Either you put it on e3 or you put it on h4. But you don't put it on d2, like unprotecting the d4 pawn. That doesn't make any sense. That's weird. Unpinning. Why did he do that? And what did he do here? Is this guy seriously the same guy I lost to? He played bishop d2, then he fixed your pawn structure. Doesn't make any sense. Nefedov just like going for the jugular with queen h4. Man. He's basically just going to play bishop takes h3 next move. This is jugular move. I'm thinking rook a3 here. But you're also on d4, so that's a nasty move, Nefedov. Nice job. You got a double threat here and here. Excuse me, that's the other bishop. This and this as well. Okay, guys. Bishop e3, and now we got to do it. He did it. Nefedov pulled the trigger on the winning sacrifice. White should not take it, but I don't know what he's supposed to play. I'm not taking challenges, guys. f4 apparently could hold on. Wow, great game. Now it's just over. It's over. According to the computer, anyway. But the problem is, f3 is mate. f4 drops the bishop with check. And there's mate on h2, h1. So what are you going to do when they come for you, bad boys, bad boys? Rook e1? It's the only move, blunder. I mean, it's the only practical move, rook e1. The engine calls it a blunder, but objectively, you're going to drop your bishop with check. This is the only move. I don't care if it's negative 8.2. I'm not dropping a bishop with check. Here, 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 and Nefedov agrees to a draw by repetition. We'll just leave it at that. But Nefedov, good game. All right. So that was a strange decision to take the draw there. Maybe he was low on time, but I don't think so. He just saw he was playing at 2300. He's like, all right, I'll bag the draw. Yeah, okay, don't... yeah, I'm sorry about the cops thing. That was stupid. I couldn't help myself. I'm a little bit giddy. I had a beer, and I'm crazy now. Blue Eyes, strong player. Where's Blue Eyes? There it is. I'm white here, solid game, and game technique must be better. Yeah, we've seen this from Blue Eyes. He's clearly a young player because he's very, very talented, but his endgame technique is his only apparent weak point. So that's the case here. So he's white. He lost that endgame line in the Caro-Kann against me, which shouldn't happen. Only Ryzantsev can do that. The Panov endgame line, Blue Eyes managed to lose to me in that. The impossible to lose opening. Oh no, no Rossalimo. Why not? You don't like the Rossalimo. Actually, Blue Eye Albino should like the Rossalimo. It should not be played by Caruana. Dude, if you're out there, hello, Fabiano, Magnus is really good in strategy, so I think it's not a good idea if you want to win a game to play bishop e5. Try the open Sicilian. Carlsen's just going to play the Sicilian until the cows come home, as long as Caruana plays bishop b5. We'll never get to see e4, e5. So d4, cd4, knight takes d4, g6, dubious. Okay, come on. Whose engine said this was dubious? Accelerated Dragon is dubious? I think it's pretty solid, actually. Knight c3. What are these moves? Dubious. Bishop g7, bishop e3. We've got mainline, Accelerated Dragon, bishop c4, queen a5, castles, and now black played knight to g4. Okay. Well, first of all, queen a5 is not the only move. Queen a5 is the Roman Gingiashvili favorite. I've played queen a5 a lot. There's something to be said for castles. One of my favorite moves to play here is like queen b4. This is a total lie. Queen b4, bishop b3, and then you like lie here to white with knight takes e4. Gigi used to do this in blitz, and like we win like most of the time because white doesn't know the refutation. You could just do this. It's like an overt bluff. Knight takes e4, and they're like panicking and they don't know what to do. There's only like one line that's good for white. Knight takes c6, d takes c6, a3, knight takes c3, queen f3, and like white has to have this memorized, or else it's not good. Roman was like, yes, this is probably not good, but nobody knows, so it's very good for blitz, and nobody knows. And then we sacrifice queen, and it's okay, like this, or no. This is not good, but it's funny. Seriously, though, don't play queen b4. It's just a joke. Knight g4, though, apparently is just bad. I mean, this idea is played in similar positions, but with the queen, like, what, on d8, right? It's actually used in the Ugal variation. Castles, we got castles, or castles, bishop b3, a5, and then castles, knight g4, right? Not so much this position. Yeah, knight g4 right away here is fairly common. There's a famous Nesmedinov game where he plays queen takes g4, knight takes d4, queen h4, and Nesmedinov won a really brilliant game. But it is possible in that Ugal variation with a5 as well. Anyways, so this is just it's just a weird move. He plays queen a5 here, and then knight g4 in a position where it's not really played with the queen on a5. So you take, you play knight b3. That's interesting. So apparently you can take, like this guy did, and then play queen h4. I wonder what would happen here. Like h5 or something? I mean, this is a huge threat. This looks really good, actually, Blue Eye. To go Nesmedinov style. Blue Eye played this knight b3, and that's kind of weird. I mean, black could play knight takes e3. Knight takes e3? Although I guess this just suicide. Yeah, okay, never mind. This is too much. I had a game one time against the Romanian IM where I broke through on f7. He just put his king on d8, and it wasn't that bad for black because of the dark squared bishop being so strong. But I guess this is a little bit over the top. I don't know. That's a little crazy. So he played queen h5, bishop f4. Black needs to develop his pieces. Clash Kid, thanks for joining us. Thanks for being the bit leader for the week. I'm sorry you have to go. I know it's late out there. It's like midnight for Clash Kid. I'll see you tomorrow, hopefully, for the Blitz stream. In this game, my elo was somewhere about 1900. My opponent had 2250. He underestimated you. Yeah, that's very common. Very common. Bishop e5, but somehow black's not developing pieces here. Bishop e5, knight e5. And now h3, we've got to play. This is a weird game where black neglected his development. Essentially, the king is still in the center of the board. He just went off with a weird continuation. So you got to take with the pawn. You don't want to trade queens. So let's just think principally here. The black king is less safe than white king. The white pieces, you know, are superior because the white has the center with e4. You got to think, okay, what are my advantages and what can I do with it? Talk to your pieces. f4 is strong. Now queen g7. This is classic. Alexander Ivanov. Fianchettoed queen. That's cool. I probably would have played that as well. But the development lead is just too significant. You know, I guess he couldn't really stomach playing queen b8. This knight is seriously a problem. He's losing a piece there. So he could have played queen d6, but you definitely don't want to trade. You don't want to trade queens under any circumstances. White has a massive development advantage. Okay, so you played f4, queen g7, and now knight to d5, and it looks like fatal. This is a big problem. This is a big problem here. If he plays knight takes b2, I mean, his queen is... I mean, I even just like here. How's that knight getting out, you know? It would be ridiculous to play like here, here. Can black really survive this? I don't know. So, rook b8. Ugh. Rook b8. That's strange, but he figures he can play king d8 or maybe king f8 and live. Okay. e5. Still, he should probably castle. But now if a knight gets into f6, it's over. You have nasty threats like queen e2, knight f6 check, d6, queen e2. Yep. And that's a horrible knight. So you have knight f6 check now, but I don't know what it does. Knight f6 check, he just plays king f8, and he's okay, actually. So... Computer says you played the best move, knight takes b6. Thanks, Clash Kid, again. Twitch Bits, the new crypto. We've got Asterbait donating 4 bits. Don't worry, Clash Kid's not here anymore, Asterbait. Now be careful. You mind them watching ads, that's awesome. But knight c7 check, okay, I don't think I would have played that. Knight c7 check. You can do that and just take on d6. Yeah, I don't know what he used to analyze this game, but it's not accurate. It's like knight takes b6 seems okay. A takes b6. E takes d6. This looks really good. Just winning for white. This is a winning position, no doubt. Threading f5. This is crushing. Black is dead. And that's totally over. Totally over. f5? Anybody? Rook d1, rook e1. This move's too slow. I definitely am not playing c3 here. I mean, you need to make sure this is protected. c3 seems unnecessary. It's still good, though. Bishop e6. Now f5. Yeah. He definitely underestimated you. Oh, this is over. f6. Was this played, like, in the distant past, Blue Eye? Or is this fairly recent? Oh my god. You have blundered now with rook d1. So f6 is over. It's totally game over. Just a careless mistake. He overlooked rook takes e7. It's a tragedy. Black is alive now. Now it's like gonna be hard, man, to win. Oh no. A whole nother stage. You just blundered one move blunder. It's so sick. Still white is probably winning, but it's not easy. Black gets all of his pieces super active. Man, this is scary now. This is really scary. He doesn't have queen f5 because of queen d4 check. Man, and now it's like even material. So you booted everything. That's such a shame. Sorry, man. Yeah, that was tragic. Rook f1, rook g7. Did he make a mistake here? Rook f1. He could have taken your a pawn. So he's just trying to hang out, not be materialistic. Queen e3, bishop c6. It's more or less equal. Yeah, I mean, this is typical overpressing, right? H5 jeopardizing his king's safety. That is kind of a weird move. Man. So H5, really risky. And it's turning into like Nimzovich now. Knight. Knight on F6. Man. Oh my god, you're like winning again. Wow. You can't trade queens, of course. You don't want any part in queen trades. But he did it anyway. Oh, wins a piece. Well, if it wins a piece, it's good. Alright. Yeah. That's it. That's over. So it was an adventure. Definitely an adventure. Don't even tell me he hangs on here. Oh my god. This has got to be a win for white. Like right there. You can't play rook b6. Come on, why are you retreating your king here? You cannot retreat your king. There's got to be a way to win this. There's got to be a way. But you can't retreat your king. Okay, I guess you wanted to come over here. Maybe you can retreat your king. To come over here. He's going to have counterplay, though. You know, the secret will be to force some sort of winning position by sacrificing an exchange, maybe? How do you make progress? Now, again, you're retreating, but you're starting h4. Yeah, that's a pain. Yeah, king e5. Oh, sacrificing a pawn. What is black doing? Here. We're winning again. Alright, now it's finally over. Wow. So you need work in the endgame department. Nice win, though. It was 2015. Okay. So major upset at that time. Yeah, black overpressed with h5. That's a typical move you see people play. Like, they get overconfident, and they overreach their realistic possibilities. Just jeopardizing his king's safety. Good game, though, overall. Okay, so Weiss Monster, Sladgie Fan, Clash Kid. Clash Kid is leaving. Alright, I've got to get to some more game, guys. We've got an hour left in the stream. Weiss Monsters. Weiss Monsters said GG. Okay, here's a game a week ago. It was marred by a blunder at the end, but otherwise interesting struggle. Wow, okay. Weiss Monsters played a C3 Sicilian. Against me. So, Gladys Troll? The Gladys Troll is here. Uh-oh, long time no see, Troll. Good to have you back. Thank you for the beard comment. You like my beard. Blade Albino, okay. But overall, not bad. You definitely need endgame technique more. I mean, that's your only weakness that I've seen. Okay, Weiss Monsters versus Trent. Oh, so he plays a C3 Sicilian. We did a C3 against Weiss Monsters the other day, so I know he's not bad here. G6. This is move 11. Likes this too, for black. I play it. White has two moves, ED and E5. I think E5 is my preferred move. He played ED. This is actually a transposition to a Caro-Kann Panov. So, Bishop E5 check is... And also Queen A4 check should be a move, shouldn't it? Why would Queen A4 check not be a move? Ruslan Ponomaryov. Nefedov. No, it's apparently Bishop E5 check. This is main line. I've played this for black. Knight D7. I've had some games on the stream in this line too. There's D6, sacking a pawn. Back. I would think that black could play Bishop G7 here and take his chances. Maybe I looked at this with Roman. You know, like Queen E2 type of thing. It's surprising how much counterplay black actually has here, even with the queens off the board. It's amazing, but even with queens traded, this kind of gambit might be okay for black. Anyway, I'll try to look at it from white's perspective. Weiss Monsters, I prefer E5, but it's a matter of style. Okay, Here, bishop c4. I think this is considered not as good. Then knight on bd7. So we got an Andrei Lukin game. Played him in Budapest. I've played everybody. It's unbelievable. An old master from Russia. Knight f3, bishop g7, d6 feeding the pawn back. But so he takes. You could play queen e2 check, queen e7. It's similar to a known line, but like an inaccurate version. There's a line where like you play queen e2 check, queen e7, bishop f4, and then like queen takes e2, bishop takes e2. And Roman and I looked at that. It was like with the knight back on g1. The key is like you play bishop f3 and the bishops rake this way. The two bishops rake, but white has to have no knight on f3 for this kind of thing to work. That was a variation that perplexed Gingy. But it's not the same position. This is really not a problem for black, I think. This is not really a problem. Let's see. Bishop f4, queen e2, bishop e2, king e7. And yeah, this is theory. Motylev, Wojtkiewicz, lots of good players. Tricky Fish. My good old buddy. R.I.P. Alec. So, alright. Anyways, it's a kind of weird position with the bishop on c4. You're not really supposed to be. You're supposed to be on like b5, I think. Castles, knight c3. There's a Gashimov game. Knight b6, bishop b3. You know, I think I actually had this once in a game against Jared Bryan, a master from Maine, with black, and I won. I won with black. It was a normal position. It should be about equal. Bishop b3. Yeah, it's annoying because bishop b6 doesn't seem quite right for black, and I don't know where to put the bishop. So you're supposed to put it on f5. A couple people have attempted bishop e6. It looks like Gashimov played bishop e6. It's interesting because the focus would be like really on the d5 square. You want to get really good control of d5 for black from black's perspective. Holmesgard. All right, against Gashimov in 2010. Bishop b3, so bishop f5, the main move. Yeah, d5 is played, but it's a little weird. Like generally, you want to keep the pawn back on d6. It's less weak. Let's have a target on d6. And black aims for having d5 for his pieces. So this looks to be like a slight inaccuracy. Ivada has a game here. What, rook e1? Rook e8. So instead of rook e1, what else can you play? Bishop f4, a bit more active. h3, I would think, would be a move. Just stopping like bishop g4. But rook e1 is okay. Then what? Bishop g5 is a good move. Rook e1, queen e1, bishop e6. This is good, because this is passive for black. Like, the telephone did pick up after the fourth ring. See, I fixed it, Tim. I had pressed the button that, like, disabled the call, you know, the answering machine by accident. But thanks for being so thoughtful. So, I don't like that. Bishop e6. That's a problem. Now, black, you know, just has a passive bishop. A4 is weird. I think A4 is weird. It's weakening, and the knight is badly placed. So my argument would be, okay, we say in English, let sleeping dogs lie. So this knight is badly placed on b6. Why would you want to disturb it? I guess you gain space, okay, maybe, but yeah, you should focus on something strategic. The computer is saying queen d2. Yeah, trade the dark squared bishops. Try to get into an ending where you have like good bishop against bad bishop, and just something like that. Safe journey. Take care, Alec. He's going to Bucharest in 15 minutes. 5-hour drive. Okay, Alex, take care. Good luck. Stay safe. Yeah, a4 I don't like. h6. Bishop h4. Now he realized his knight sucks, so he plays knight c8. That's a good move. Heading to the center. Now queen e5, a really crazy move that I don't understand. It's a Weissmonster, it's just a4 weakening, and then queen e5, just a crazy move. And g5, and you just put yourself in a tactical disaster zone with all these discoveries. You're lucky your queen isn't trapped here. You're lucky you have c7. It's like literally one square. So you lost control of the game. Black is slightly more active now. 97 guarding his pawn. Rook c1, rook c8, bishop e5, bishop e5. And now knight takes is normal. That's what you played. But if you do take with the d pawn, it looks like you have a really good, you may have a good outpost. f6, knight d3, and then knight d2, bishop there. Okay, now trading that bishop is probably not bad. Maybe Waste Monsters is a little too unwilling to, but he saw bishop takes c4, rook takes c4, and probably was scared he couldn't protect his pawns, and he might be right, actually. Bishop takes c4, rook takes c4. What are we going to do after that? And that does look bad. The computer's actually recommending d takes c4, but what happens here? How do we protect our pawn? Rook e1, and then king f7, and now what? There's some weird defense. That's amazing, like knight b5, defending d4 and knight d6 check with a 4. So that was tricky. It was tricky. But anyways, b3 is horrible. Your bishop's bad now. This is awkward. Very awkward. And then b4 again. I don't know what to do, but I really don't feel too excited about letting his knight back into c4. He went here, played knight b5, and you're hanging on by threads in this position. Just threads. You're so lucky you're not lost at this point. Black had a lot of chances, and the king is still on g1. You're so lucky you didn't lose. You were in very bad shape in many spots in this game, and now you actually managed to go a pawn up. Wow. So this was a miracle, like, you didn't lose. And now you're just a pawn up. So let's just play f3. Get the king in the game. I mean, I think that's going to be the major plan. If f3, king f2, or king f1. Yeah. He just hung a piece here. Oh, God. So he blundered a piece. All right. Tragic end, but that was an instructive game. Sladgie fan is up next, guys. Going to try to, we have like 40 minutes left. Going to try to hammer out these last games. We got like 3 to 5 more games to analyze. All countries have bad drivers, but Hungary is bad. Romania is probably pretty bad too. You're talking about Eastern Europe, where it's not like the United States. People haven't been living in a world where everyone had cars for the last 100 years. If you take like the U.S. as an example, we have a much more car-oriented culture for a long time. But I think in Eastern Europe, it's only been in the last 30 years that a lot of people have cars. If you go back 30 years ago, really, it was like a luxury to have a car in Eastern Europe. And, so I think that's why drivers they don't have as much practice over the last 40 years. Hungarian drivers are scary. I have friends from Germany, and they're like, oh my God. No, Hungarian drivers are the worst. Americans are bad too, though. Anybody can be a bad driver. Sladgie fan is up next. Guys, thank you so much for your bit donations. Clash Kid 3500, Acerbate Dim, everyone who supported the stream today. We had a Streamlabs donation of $5. Thanks so much, guys. So, anyway, Sladgie fan, Mr. Bob is up next. This is Queen's Gambit Declined. Fischer Spassky, I was just mentioning this, but I was mentioning the 92 match. Because today Magnus against Caruana, there was Caruana Magnus, sorry, and Magnus had to face the B4 Rossalimo Gambit idea, which was something that Bobby used in his return match against Spassky. Okay, this is Robert James playing C4. So surprise idea here. Yeah, I don't want to drive in California. In this very backward part of Massachusetts where I live, we have really bad drivers too. Knight f3 d5. I live in a backwater at the moment. d4, knight f6, knight c3, bishop e7, bishop g5, castles e3. This is Bobby playing white. He's surprised Spassky, but Spassky, got transposed to a Queen's Gambit Decline, so it's not really in English. It just started out as an English. h6, bishop h4, b6, Tartakova variation. So now white played c takes d. I like Karpov's system, which is bishop e2, with the idea of bishop b7, bishop f6, cd, and fix the structure where the bishop on b7 is bad. But that's just one system. There's many different ways to play, and so Bobby doesn't do that. He plays just cd immediately. The problem with this move is that I think it allows a lot of simplification. Weissmonster says in Portugal you get people reversing across pedestrian crossings. Yeah, in Budapest I've seen little old ladies like go flying in the zebra crossings and stuff. I mean, it's really scary. Drivers are crazy. I wouldn't want to ride a bike in Budapest. Like, I used to cycle in Boston, and it was pretty safe. But drivers, I don't think they pay enough insurance premiums in Budapest or something, because it's scary, man. I mean, I wouldn't want to be a cyclist in Budapest. Knight takes d5, bishop takes e7, queen e7, knight d5, ed5. This is a main line. This is old school. This is like Capablanca style play with white. Very, very classic line. Now rook c1, and I think my stomach just rang. That was a weird, I heard this like telephone sound, like a ringing, but it was my stomach. Alright, I know that sounds weird, but that's what it sounded like. Okay, bishop e6. I'm not hungry that my stomach is ringing. So the idea is, this is classic, you know, you don't put the bishop on b7, you put it on e6. You save time, basically. You never had to bother playing bishop b7. Now queen a4, this is Capablanca, I guess. Queen a3 is the idea, to pin this on the diagonal. c5, queen a3, and now rook c8. And then the idea for black is to play king f8. I had a game like this in the New York Open in like 1993. Maybe it was the Newark Open in 1990. I don't remember, 95. They had the New York Open in Newark Airport or something. It was horrible. Next to a prison. But king f8's the idea. It's more or less equal. Okay, bishop b5. This is all known. And now apparently queen b7 is the move, but I don't know if that was known at this time in 1972. The family, the T words, T words, a6. So white played bishop b5 and black plays a6. Something about that. Or you're playing Bobby Fischer. What about king f8? Like, I don't understand. This is Nakamura versus Hare Krishna. I thought this was pretty standard. You just play king f8, and you force white to do this. And it should be okay for black. This is my New York Open game against some random guy. I don't remember if I won, but it wasn't easy. It looks like equal. So I don't know about Spassky like weakening his structure with a6. I'm not super crazy about that. dc5, bc5. I mean, this square may be the point to play queen e7, queen a7, or rook a7. I don't know which one is better. Acerbate will be happy. They've both been played. Computer likes queen a7, but Fischer, Spassky went rook a7. And then bishop e2. So it's pretty heavy preparation. Knight d4, basically perfect play. Queen f8. And then Bobby goes to the bishop. Bobby loved bishops, and he was a very, very strong player at endgame technique. So that's what we're going to see here. Fischer rendition of the endgame with bishop versus knight. Spassky immediately allows his pawns to be... It's very inflexible. He immediately allows his pawns to be fixed. So we're going to see a technical display here by Fischer. Better structure and better minor piece. Very good coordination. Pawns in the correct color. You got attacking chances even. Spassky was clearly like out of his element here. Totally out of his element. It looks like he's going to get crushed. He's already getting crushed. Transfer, coordination, space advantage, better minor piece. Nice game, Bob, to select. So now Fischer goes for f5, which is committal, but it looks strong. Very strong. There's the passed pawn, but there's also the element of the black king not being entirely safe. And I think that outweighs black having this passed pawn on the d file. I'm sure that's, you know, Spassky didn't play that well. He's h4. Now rook f7 is coming. That stopped rook f7. But the too many advantages. The king safety issue and the passed pawn. It's going to be a crush. Just watch how it unfolds here. Watch and learn from the master. Fischer's such a good player with bishops. He was legendary. Yeah, he missed rook f7 there, which is kind of weird. I mean, that looks kind of strong. He played this instead. Well, that's also, going for the mate. Acerbates down with rook, queen e4. And then sacrifice to break through. The black king can't be defended. This bishop is worth a rook, no doubt, with the passed pawn. That tandem of bishop and pawn. Nice game, Bob, to select. Really beautiful game. Almost like perfect execution by Fischer. Okay, that was Spassky playing black against Bobby in their World Championship match. Really one-sided game, though, when you look at it in the long haul. It was a crush, though it didn't have to be. The opening was okay. And basically Spassky should have been all right, but it got bad after he lost his bishop to the knight and got outplayed really, really badly after the opening was over. So we got Clash Kid move 11, and then maybe Mule Skinner and Infinite Flash Chess if we have time. I have half an hour left, guys. I'm gonna do. Thanks, JCS, cleaning up the chat there. All right, what do we got? Clash Kid. Clash Kid donated 3,500 bits today. Oh, he was actually submitted by JCS. Okay, here. Asterbait. Sir Francis Drake. The wonderful people in history. All right. This is Clash Kid Thursday analysis. No, this is our last game. My bad. I clicked on the wrong thing here. So we got JCS submitted for Clash Kid. Clash Kid against Maxime P. Well, let's flip it around. Guys, thank you for joining me for my stream, and thanks for supporting the stream. Tomorrow we got Friday. Don't forget, Pondas. Don't forget, tomorrow we're going to play Blitz, and it's going to be 5+3 in the morning. Okay, he sounded a little like the original Ponda, but it was just a coincidence. Ponda is in Budapest. So, Clash Kid against Maxime. Is Troll still here? Good to see Troll come back. C takes d4, and now Queen takes d4. What do we call this? This checkover variation. Queen takes d4. Yeah, I hate playing against this. Clash Kid, not a player who really, likes to play a lot of mainline stuff. This is a sideline. It's annoying, though. My friend Albert Bokrosh plays this with white. It's pretty safe. Like, you can kind of play for a tiny edge and take very little risk. The theory goes pretty deeply, too. So bishop d7, bishop takes c6, bishop takes c6. Now, there are two approaches, the Marazzi style, or just putting the piece on c3 and castling long. I don't really know which one is better, honestly. And the other thing that black can do is to play a6 here. Instead of knight c6, you play a6, and then white really has to go for like a c4 Marazzi type of setup. So that's a seriously good alternative for black. Notice all my suggestions are always for the other guy. Spassky, moved to France. Still there, as far as I know. Knight c6, bishop b5. Is Spassky still in France? Bishop takes c6, bishop takes c6, knight c3, knight f6, bishop g5, e6. I mean, Spassky was like hated by everybody when he lost the World Championship match. Castles. Bishop e7. This is all main standard line. So now you have got a bunch of different possibilities for white, where there's like h4, move the queen and try to play knight d4, king b1, rook he1. The thing about rook he1 though is like you're kind of giving up that a chance for the rook to play along the h file. But rook he1 is apparently the main line. playing centrally. Here, Clash Kid play queen d3. This is definitely a move. And then castles, and then knight d4. This is the idea. And you will be able to play like f4 probably. Rook c8. Now, I don't know. I've definitely had this position with black and blitz, and I think I played like queen a5 here in the past. I might have had it in a tournament game once. I think queen b6 is a move too. I don't see it here. I guess not. So queen a5 though, standard. Rook c8, f3. You know, it's like you'd almost rather have the other rook come over instead of the rook c8. So f3 doesn't seem right. This is Clash Kid's first mistake. You've got to play more actively. F3 is just kind of like holding the position. King b1, h4, f4. But f3 is too passive. After f3, what are you going to do? g4, h4, h5, h6? That seems... I mean, that seems a little slow. Can we realistically expect to have 1, 2, 3 moves before black can really do some damage to get some counterplay? I just think that it's a bit too slow. Alright, so queen a5 now. h4. We transpose to some games here. All Hungarians. Csaba Balog, an old game. Miklos Nemet. Miklos. And now h6, and now we can't sack a piece, so the bishop has to move. Bishop back to d2. It's kind of a weird choice, but he's on the queen on a5. The bishop e3 is more natural. Now apparently this isn't good because of here, here, here. And that looks like white is too slow in his kingside attack. There's this problem, there's this problem. The computer likes black here. So you see, now you end up playing f4 anyway. And it's kind of like, well, why did I play f3 in the first place? d5 is really strong. Alright, so he went back to d2, was a good call, because it doesn't give black time to play d5. And now what? Here. Now knight on c to e2. Computer recommends bishop e3 repeating position. Bishop e3 repeating position, but look at the difference. Like bishop e3, queen a5, and then g4, and then d5, and then e5, or even g5 might be possible. So if Clash Kid had thrown this in, this little move, bishop e3, it might have made a big difference. Instead he played a little passively. Black hits in d5. Black played really well, the opening. And now Clash Kid trades, but that bishop is always not easy to say. Is that a good piece or a bad piece? Black's threatening to take on that, so you have two moves. You can take or you can play e5. e5 looks more natural. e5, knight d7, it's like a French now with f4. But black's going to have knight c5, knight e4 with serious counterplay. But he does this, and I don't know about the recapture. This is a really tough call, but how do you recapture? Not with the queen, I guess, but the rook or the pawn. The pawn takes, like, brings the pawn toward the center, but also opens up the b file. That might be the best way to get at the white king, actually. It looks like natural to take this way, but maybe you shift to the b file. Both may be good. Here. Clearly, is he going to sacrifice his queen here? No. D takes e4, knight takes e6, no. So, this is weird. Why wouldn't black play this? To just ruin white's structure. It's very strange that he didn't do that. It's pretty obvious. He plays rook c7. Kind of passive move by black. I mean, he's threatening, okay, this is nice, but why play passively? Bishop f4, rook c5, and now e5, and now Clash Kid's bishop is a prisoner inside of his own pawns. Fortunately, the knight doesn't have a good square to come to c5. That's going to take black some time to sort out. And then queen b3. And Clash Kid, as we know, is a good endgame player. So he's happy to see the queens leave here. Ben Feingold, what? No, never mind. I don't want to know. I don't want to know. Where's our emotes, guys? Where's our emotes? Alright. Yeah, that's our emotes there. Nobody else's emotes. Not trading queens. Okay, in the heat of battle, it's hard to decide. The computer says black should avoid the trade of queens here. But white has some chances to attack on the king side too. So black was also scared. So he trades queens. And now A, B. And it's like an endgame where now maybe Clash Kid can bring his king to the center and be a player. Where he might even be able to get the advantage. What if he had done that? What if he had done this move, king d2? Apparently it's just really bad. Wow. There's some crushing move f6. Darn. That's tough. You never know when to bring the king in the center. Clash Kid's fixing the structure, but all of his pawns are on the wrong color. So this bishop is going to struggle a bit here. And this is sad. We don't really want our king on b1. This is not where we want our king. We want our king in the center of the board. So he's not happy now to have done that. And black played this game really well, this Maxime guy. He's played a solid game throughout. Now a5, wow. Really thoughtful way of like temporarily sacrificing a pawn to break through. Poor Clash Kid is just totally on defense here. The bishop is trapped. Like g5 could happen. I mean, that could just cause the loss of the e5 pawn. It looks like Clash Kid is practically tempting him to play g5 and weaken his own king side. Man, he just keeps coming like the Energizer Bunny. Man, oh man. And there's just a blunder. Oh gosh. So I don't know what time control this was, but he just didn't see winning the exchange. That's really time pressure. Bishop d2 just wins the exchange. And now black's better again. Man. But Clash Kid started the whole game getting passive with f3. That was really the main problem. You know, he got a passive game. He misplayed his structure in this checkover variation, where you've got to play f4, or you've got to do something with h4 and attacking on the king side. But f3 was too passive. And now he's just getting tortured with the protected pass pawn on d5, the strong knight coming to c4. It looks really bad. Really, really bad. Probably trading one piece is okay. Bishop d4. Now it's a different story. Now maybe rook b3 for black. He plays that here, and he's barely holding on. So we see like a little bit of Clash Kid's talent now, where in the endgame, you know, he's able to hold on here. And that's bad though. f4 was bad. I guess we should play maybe g4, so the pawns don't necessarily get fixed on the all in the wrong color. Because this looks kind of grim. I mean, if black can play king h7, king g6, king f5, I'm concerned that white's going to lose. And somehow he doesn't. He got a lost position and saved the game anyway. See, this move was bad. King h7, you just walk in on the white squares, game over. Essentially game over. I mean, white has this outside pass pawn that's kind of tricky, but man, g6, cutting off your own king. There's no move like that. That's really bad. g4, wow, this is crazy too. So they're both probably in time pressure. Like unnecessary. Unnecessary. Clash Kid's like playing for a win from a bad position. I don't know what the time control. This may have been a quite fast game, probably rapid chess or faster. Both sides made a lot of errors at the end, and it ends up being a draw. Alright, so that's a draw. Crazy game. Move 11's up next. Guys, thanks for joining me. I can't answer all the chat because we're just trying to get through the games that we have here. Time pressure in a correspondence game. Well, it's not really a correspondence game, I had the feeling. It was just imported that way. It wasn't a correspondence game, was it? Seriously? I'm surprised if it was, because it didn't feel like it. I assumed it was not a correspondence game. I could be wrong. I'd like to look at game number 25 in my study. Black against John Jacobs in the Moore Gambit. Okay, this is move 11. Game number 25. Okay, in his study. So move 11's got a lot of games here. He played a FM John Jacobs. I think he's from like England or something, but wherever that is. John Jacobs, this was played at the Marshall Chess Club. I've never met this guy. He's like a FIDE master, but I know almost everyone. And not that young, I think. But someone I don't know. Okay, e4, c5. Move 11 is black, and the guy plays the Mora, which I don't respect the Mora. Kill the Mora. Okay, d takes c, takes, knight c6, knight f3, and now black plays e6. This is a good line. My friend John Fedorovich is a big fan of e6. He's a believer. I think it's good, you know, but I prefer the d6. I like d6. It's working for me. It's always worked for me. d6 followed by a6, and the system's fine too. So there's at least 2 good ways to play against the Mora, minimally. This is number 2. e6, bishop c4, and now there's queen c7, which is like the tricky variation where you play for mate on h2. Acerbate would like that, you know, like the trick like here, the fishing pole sort of line, like queen e2, knight g4, h3, knight d4, resigns. This is my favorite, you know, Mora game. Basically, you just checkmate white, acerbate, you know, see what you think there. But that's another variation. Move 11 doesn't play that. He plays a6, and now sorry, e6, bishop c4, and now a6, which is apparently like a real variation. Jan has a game. So now I don't know anything about this, but it's interesting. Okay, b5. The one risk that black's running is that the king is in the center for possibly a long time here, and it's very tricky. All right, so here, bishop b7, queen e2. And the thing is, if you play knight f6, you're just getting e5 in your face. There's no tricks now. You can't allow that. And the other thing is that you've played b5, you have to watch out for stuff like a4, maybe breaking up your pawn chain. So this is correct, but it's a bit weird. You know, you're going to have to do some funky stuff like happens in this game. So there's a lot of games, actually. Bishop g5, and it's ugly. I mean, f6 I had to do once in a position like this, and I felt very uncomfortable about it, to be honest with you. You're not happy playing f6. That's what he did. This move is kind of interesting, queen b8 for me. Played by none other than Gata in 2007. I mean, you gotta... Sorry for the joke, guys. You gotta consider queen b8, right? Come on. You deserve credit for that joke. But seriously, this move refuses to make, like, pawn weaknesses. I think it's still not going to be a real fun game, though. Because basically, you know, Gata's lost some really nasty Sicilians to some strong players before. People like Topalov. I don't think the Sicilian is his bag, really, but he plays it sometimes. But basically, Kamsky is safer playing something more correct, like e4, e5. But he plays the Sicilian, kind of like Svidler. But here I would be very scared about knight d5 sacrifices. In other words, like black will try to play knight g6, but you're going to get this knight d5, the offer that you have to refuse. So f6 anyway. Now bishop e3. I don't know where white should go with the bishop. Bishop f4 seems a bit more active, but it gets hit by knight g6. So he goes here, and so far so good. Okay, knight a5, rook d1, and he gives up that bishop on b3, but I think it's justified, you know. Is this really, you're going to put it on c2, or what are you going to do, you know? It's selling its life for a knight, but it loses time for black to chase this knight. Takes bishop. Takes. Herman Grooten, some kind of Dutch master. Maybe I don't know. It seems like a good game by both sides. Knight g6. White has compensation for the pawn. Knight d4. They're still following theory here on move 14. Well, theory is like 2 games. Queen b8. Great. How do you know that, move 11? How does move 11, he knows this, is the move played by Michael Oratovsky in 2004 and Gruden in 81. Mule Skinner, will it be time for your game? Yes. Don't worry. Queen b8. All theory. They're following the game from 1981. What is the chance of that? Like, John Jacobs knows this. I don't think he knew it. They just keep finding the same moves. So bishop e7 here. So we have a novelty on move 15 by move 11 in an over-the-board game. Like, the dude played 95. That move admittedly doesn't develop a piece. You know, this does seem a bit suspicious. The fact that you're moving the same piece again, not developing, and the queen looks good there on h3. So, I like move 11's move, bishop e7. The engine argues that bishop d6 was even better. So, who knows? Okay, bishop e7, and now white played f4. The computer recommends a piece sacrifice here with knight f5, but I mean, this move is this is why bishop d6 I guess is better. That's very hard to find. Long-term piece sacrifice. Here f4. This guy's pretty good. He knows his Mora. More of that later. f4 b4. It makes sense to me. So we go into, you know, I was expecting like what, f5 here? I was actually thinking about f5. But I guess it's just not good. Takes, takes, takes. And that pawn is just too disruptive to white's position. So he goes here. There's the bishop attacking b6. Hi, Ponda. Ponda's not here. We have Gita B. We have with Ponda replacements. They're not the real Pondas. Hello. And that's micro Ponda. This is macro Ponda. Hello. I'm not the original Ponda. I'm a substitute. But we're just getting through the rest of the games here, guys. Thanks for joining us for the subscriber stream. Lots of support tonight. But anyways, it's a sacrifice. It makes sense. And now knight takes c6. He sacks a piece. This was a great game by both sides, actually. The computer recommends f5, another really nasty variation, where like black's holding on. Pawn takes, knight takes, bishop takes, queen takes, and the engine recommends queen b5. And it's like a cool game. I mean, compensation for pawn. Well played by both sides. But instead, Jacob sacks a piece here, which is really interesting. Knight takes, pawn takes, and this is a scary variation for black. That's what I said earlier. The king doesn't leave the building very early. The king is like trapped there in the middle of the board. That's why I'm scared to play this line for black. But move 11, willing to play it. And he blunders here with bishop e7 apparently. I mean, he had to find a move. So the engine says queen b7. And I don't know. He obviously saw knight c5 and didn't like it. And I wouldn't like it either. I mean, it looks like you're losing a piece. You have to find some ridiculous move here. What? Bishop f5, queen f5. Queen takes g2 check. Move 11, you missed that? Like, really? You missed that variation? How could you? How could you miss that? So he doesn't see this computer-like variation. Instead, he plays a human move. And I don't know what he's supposed to do if you can't find the computer-like variation. And instead, so what happens is he gets into a nasty situation here. Knight f8. And then queen g4. And this is apparently a blunder. Both players making human mistakes. He plays queen c4 when he should have played queen g4. And we are going to get to Morales' game. This was a tough game, man. But that would have kept his king like trapped maybe longer. Queen g4, g6. Only move? Is that only move? Best move? And move 11 sacks, you know, well, he's forced to give up to, you know, to give up the rook. He's got two pieces of the rook, but his king is just chilling in the middle of the board. His rook isn't in the game on h8, so we've got a serious problem. All of white's pieces are mobilized, and this guy is, you know, counting on winning. He's a master. He's a FIDE master playing white. Queen e2, king f7, queen c4 check, and just walk away. He plays knight e6. I mean, even king g7 looks like it would be plausible. Do you think John Jacobs is good with tactics? Man, this would have ended move 11. Wow. Ending move 11 on move 24 there. So he finds the only move, knight to e6, rook d7, and then just trade the attacking guy's pieces off. Good job. Really good battle. This is a great game. Rook takes d8. Yeah, rook takes d8, bishop takes d8, takes the pawn, doesn't trade queens. So at the end of the day, it's 2 pieces for rook and pawn, but I like the 2 pieces here. The 2 pizzas. Move 11 got the advantage. Nice game, man. I think that white is totally in trouble here. 2 bishops are super scary. White doesn't have a passed pawn. He has no compensation for being down 2 pieces for a rook now. That's all there is to it. Black is just clearly better. Rook c1, queen b5. That's kind of a weird move, getting off the page. It seems like pity to leave that battery, move 11. That was a mistake, I think. Here, and then probably he's in some time pressure. Black offered a draw, white accepts. Move 11 has a tendency toward time pressure, so I think he was probably, getting into time pressure here. White realized he was worse, so took the draw. Okay, Mule Skinner is up next, and that might be our last game for today. We got Mule Skinner and Infinite Flash. We'll do a very quick analysis of Infinite Flash's game. E4, E6, D4. This is Mule Skinner. Gotta be black. What did I do? Did I do Merle Dixon? Merle didn't submit a game today. Okay, anyway, there's no time. So, whoa. C5. Tarash. Mule Skinner, are you white or black here? Alright, so Mule is white. Mule Skinner and Morales are the same person, I think. No, I'm just kidding. Alright, so knight c6. They're just from the same... They just live in the same country. Morales was not here today, right? Good job. Keep the trolls. Keep the trolls at bay, except for the Gladys troll. Gladys troll's allowed to stay. Keep the bad trolls at bay, JCS. Good job. Okay, so knight c6, c3. I don't like c3. To me, that move has a decent score, but it's creepy. I don't know. I saw this once between Igor Foigl and... This was Larry Christensen against Foigl. I don't understand. I was kind of like, what's Larry doing? I saw Larry play this with white. I was like, wait. What do you get for this? You just get like this lame, isolated pawn position. And Larry just drew with the white pieces against Igor. Igor is good. Yeah, this is the game I was talking about. It was Larry against Igor. I remember from a tournament here in New England, like 15 years ago. And Larry just didn't get anything. So a6, though, that's a weird move. It seems like black should just play... I don't remember what Foigl did. He equalized. But I mean, it just seems like take, and like knight f6. And is it knight f6 here? I just don't really see white... I don't really see white having anything here. I mean, it just looks like you're going to trade a bunch of pieces. Like even bishop e4 check. I don't know. The computer likes this, though. It says white's better. Gotta be careful with white not to trade too many pieces. That would be my concern. Zvygantsev against Fedoseev 2015. Anyways, so black played a6, which is kind of weird, but it looks okay. Waiting move, right? It's okay. The next move is really pushing the envelope, though. b6? What? You can't play b6 for black. Seriously? What is that? Bishop d3, b6? How can you possibly play b6? That's too many pawn moves. e6, d5, c5, b6, a6. Come on now. This is ridiculous. This is the French defense. It's like an open position, or could be open position, because there's tension in the center. Black's literally made 5 pawn moves. That is impossible to be good. So here, when you're white, I think you have to sort of say to yourself, the dude can't make that many pawn moves. You got to open the position. You've got to open the position. I mean, the dude is king. His king is on e8. It's hard though, because you're sitting there. You're like, oh, the bishop's on c8. I don't want to open its diagonal. But I think this is really good. Honestly, this is total Rubinstein. Castles. You got the e file. Akiba would just crush in this position with white. An absolutely beautiful game. Beautiful, beautiful position. It could also be like a King's Indian attack, where you like g3, bishop g2, same structure, Very, very good for white. No, this is devastating. Straight out of Akira Rubinstein 100 years ago type of position. This is still not bad. Castles. Black's been wasting a lot of time. But I don't like this move, particularly knight e5. I guess it's okay. I don't really want to trade pieces too much with white. I think Mule Skinner was not sure what to do with the knight on d2. Black keeping the tension here for so long. Again, I still like this. Take, something very simple like rook e1. White has an extremely strong position. It's just good for white. Again, I think this is a Rubinstein solution. So instead he plays knight e5. It's not a bad move. Black takes, and now takes. And the e5 pawn gives us a space advantage. Black has no place to put the knight on g8. Who's next? Infinite Flash Chess is last. That's going to be a quick analysis because we're over time. So queen g4. Mule Skinner's got a really nice French. He plays the French with black. He knows what's good and bad. With black, from black's perspective, that gives you an ability to play white better, I think. Bishop c2, safe move, h5. Okay. And now I don't know where to put the queen, because maybe you could think about like h3 or g3 or other options. This is the safest move, though, queen e2. Again, straight out Rubinstein here with white. It could have been like a London system or something. Yeah, this is beautiful. This is just beautiful. I mean, now you're going to have the knight e4. It's almost like black should play ed or something. This is horrible for black. E6 is crushing. But it's like you're almost tempted to do that, because you don't want to give the e4 square. Rook e1, okay, overprotecting. Black, what's he going to do? There's no safe place to put the king. Probably king g7, king f8, king g7, artificial castling. That's what I would do. The only risk now is if it's too closed for Mule Skinner to win. Knight c4, knight f5. Man. What is going on here? Maybe you could play, even knight f3. But then again, knight f5. Knight e4, it's like queen takes e5, right? I don't see how we can do that. That's a pity. Computer says bishop e4. Tough move to play. Here. White just has a tiny edge, but we're not thrilled about this bishop. But very, very Petrosian-like. Overprotection of the key square. And this might be a mistake. But what if g5? I mean, is that just nuts? g5? This was very, very complicated because white could take on like f5. I don't know. So apparently, like this was a trouble position for black. Here, knight e3 is safe, but he plays knight d6, and this is wow. I mean, black totally played this game like a maniac and got away with it. That's frustrating, though. You don't see anything for white here. You have to settle for knight e3 with a very, very small advantage here. That's sad. I mean, knight d6 is like intuitive. He just takes the pawn and takes the pawn and takes the pawn, and you don't have an attack. It's amazing. You're just down a pawn. That sucks. That sucks, and now black's just going to walk away and he's going to be up a pawn. It just seems so unfair. Now he hit him with the tactics, so black blundered. Man, I mean, he's one move away. Just king f8, and black's fine. Literally, like, king f8 getting off the e-file, and he's at least equal. So he blundered here. Rook takes. And still black's equal, huh? Bishop e4, here. So you have to take on a8, I guess. Or you have rook d1, actually. I guess bishop c6 check doesn't really help white that much. The king is actually not so bad on e7. Oh, man. So there's a win, apparently. Rook d1. And you have queen e5 now, and he found it. Wow, this is like paralyzing. And queen f6 next. Wow, impressive. Just out of the blue. Queen f7, king h6, queen f4, and it's winning. Nice job. Nice job, but very lucky. Quickly, I'm going to take a look at Infinite Flash, the last one for today. Tomorrow we're going to be back at 5:30. Excuse me, 4:30. Excuse me. Never mind. Tomorrow we're going to be back at 12 o'clock. It's going to be... I'm a little tired, guys. 2.5 hour stream. I need my martini now. And dinner. It's going to be tomorrow, 12 o'clock, 5 plus 3. If I get home in time, I should. 5 plus 3 Blitz. Okay, deep breath. 12 o'clock, noon. It's going to be a fast Friday Blitz, 5 plus 3, with everybody, you know, open challenges, not just for the subscribers. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, Lee Chess, you're trolling me. Infinite Flash just gave me a link to a game that wasn't there. I played this game a couple days ago. What happened? I thought it was one of my better games, despite the evaluation at many points. Only showing this game for others' discussion and entertainment purposes. I think I was a disclaimer. That's awesome. I'm only showing this game for others' discussion and entertainment purposes. This is not for business purposes. This is not to be used and not to be shared. Alright. Time for entertainment. Okay, so this is really like just for entertainment. We'll take a quick look here. Okay, Infinite Flash is black. E45. So it's a kind of King's Gambit. Fun. King's Gambit declined. Knight F3. Now he takes, so it's not a King's Gambit decline. That does seem kind of inconsistent. You know, I would imagine you would play like D6 here or something. I'm not too knowledgeable about this. He's very square. Well, this is very classical, but now he takes. So I don't know where we're at here. Patrick Ryan, whoever that is, sounds like a correspondence game. What's wrong with D4? That's what he plays, okay? I'm concerned about this, so this is some kind of crazy thing. Wow, okay, so only for entertainment purposes, but apparently a good move. Wow, now we know why D4 is not a good move. It's a kind of trap. I'm guessing this is a correspondence game that they're following. Knight takes D4, knight takes D4. Queen H4 check. Check this out, guys. So, apparently, you've got a really interesting novelty here. Now, I don't know if this would hold up if you ran it on the engine for a long time. Let me turn this off for a second. D5, although the stream has been okay with the engine on. D5, apparently. Let me leave it on anyway. So, apparently, D5 first to mobilize this bishop. That's insane. Check this out. You give up this pawn first, and then white takes the pawn, and now this counterattack is very interesting because there's like king f1, bishop g4. Well, this is going to transpose. Okay, I didn't realize that that's going to actually transpose to the actual game. So queen h4 check. I guess g3 isn't healthy. But I mean, king f1 does look safer. Generally speaking, you know, the Steinitz King's Gambit is not safe. I would have gone with the guy's move king f1. Instead, we have king e2. d5. Bishop takes d5. Bishop g4 check. Whoops. That's a slight problem. But check it out. It's not over. Oh my gosh. Now we know why it's only for entertainment purposes. Knight f3. Queen f2 check. King d3. In case you didn't notice, that's the only move. This is awesome. This is awesome. So you castle queenside. I mean, obviously we have to ask ourselves what happens after queen takes g2. The answer seems to be knight to d2, and the beat goes on. Okay, that would have been fun, but this is hard to say. Castles, now you're threatening, well, c6 if nothing else. Looks pretty good. It looks pretty good. I'd be confident here black has compensation for the sacrificed piece. And then he's going to trade queens, so you can't avoid the trade of queens. Nice. I don't know, you know, whether you want to trade. Well, you had to trade on his terms, basically. So this is like hard to evaluate. King e2 apparently. Uh-oh. Oh no. Wow. So if he plays king e2, he wins a piece here. Damn. King e2, and you've got to do this, and he's got to do this, and then we get the The absolute insanity going on with pawn takes pawn. Good luck to him with this. It's Tetris pawns. Okay, let's say knight e5. e3. Oh my god, no, it's mate. It's mate. No, it's not mate because of this, of course. I'm just kidding. So this would have been like practically forced. White has to like sack the piece back. Wow, that's awesome, man. Thanks for submitting this game. It said c4, and you take back, and it's a really crazy endgame where the white king is just getting flushed out. Nice move f5, breaking his center up. Gotta destroy the center. I'm surprised he didn't try to bail out there, but knight c3 is natural. I'm so glad you shared this game. This is fun. fe4, knight e4. I like the disclaimer. So he didn't try to take the pawn now with check. Oh, no, you did. Okay, you did. Yeah, king e2. And yeah, now what do we do? Black has the initiative. Material is balanced out. Wow. So it's close. Bishop pair. That's all you got now. The advantage of the bishop pair. Bishop takes f4. The black king is breathing heavily now. Heavy breathing king. You got time. You could have played knight e7, knight c6 to cover your king. But it's still scary because of knight d6 check. So he played knight f6. Alright. Wow. What a wimpy move. Like, you could check the black king now. But he doesn't. He trades pieces. What a chicken. Okay, g takes f. And then he just plays this. He still doesn't attack you. What? I mean, I guess he figured he's bringing your king to the center or something. Maybe that's true. Wow. Rook e1. This is a cool game. Not happy about that king for the end game with white. You know? This was a great game. But his king is not thrilled. You know, it's like you want to have a king and have it go toward the center. And his king is moving away from the center, virtually getting mated now. Acerbate would have been all over bishop b5. He would have been playing for mate here, no doubt. Bishop d7, ho-hum, not doing anything, not trying to checkmate you like brutally or anything. So infinite flash trades pieces. That's not that subtle. And then he gets evacuated. Rated game, 2 days. I don't do 2 days standard. Man, he's coming back out to the center. Now we understand king in the endgame. And uh-oh. Bishop g4, king e2. And sadly, objectively, it's probably a draw. But it is a pretty nasty situation for white. He has to play bishop e3 and pray. Good move. Bishop e3 and start praying to whatever supreme being you believe in, belong to. Do we belong to supreme beings? Just play and pray. Play and pray. Yes. Wow. The mighty king. Infinite Flash just traded bishop for knight here. Would Bobby do that? King d5 with the mighty king. King d5, knight d4, bishop d7, draw. Right? What do we think? Knight d4, bishop d7, draw. The structure compensates for the better minor piece. Who does have the better minor piece here? So anyway, so Infinite Flash just traded, and his king is so good that it compensates for his bad structure, I guess. I'm not sure if king f5 is the best move or not. The advantage is not enough to win. I guess that white can play better, but this has to be a draw. I mean, it just doesn't seem like either side should have enough advantage to win. White's actually... Yeah, I mean, I don't think you can lose here. Now it's getting a little bit annoying. f5, threatening f4. Though you could get yourself into zugzwang now. This is what happens. He like zugzwangs himself. Wow. So you have to play king d5. f5, you start to run out of moves. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no, we're running out of moves. Ah. Running out of moves. Wow. This guy was 1700. That's kind of scary, huh? 1700? That's like the 1800 I lost to the other day. One last chance. f4. All right, now I don't know, man. That's a pretty good 1700. I didn't look at his rating. I was just assuming like White was like the same rating as you. When I don't really focus on the ratings, but great game to share. I mean, I guess he wasn't a computer, but he sure played pretty tough for 1700. I will see you guys tomorrow. It's chess is the game we take to alien dinner parties. Guys, I'm tired. I'm out of here. I'm gonna see you tomorrow. 5+3 Blitz. Thanks so much, Clash Kid, Astrobate Dim, all you guys who subscribed, and to the new subscribers, and also everyone who donated to support the stream. That was a solid game. I mean, honestly, though, you know, he should have never won. Like, he was on the defensive the whole game. But his ability to hang on was impressive. And he did play better than he should. You know, he played more like 2,000 on a good day. So, who knows about the truth of whether he had help or just his buddy was helping him in an end game or something. But the guy played well. Anyway, guys, thanks for joining me for the subscriber stream. We'll be back with Blitz tomorrow. Thanks, JCS, for filling in as moderator once again. And I hope it was a good stream. You guys are welcome. And thank you for supporting the stream. I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.